You're listening to the Substation Gaming Podcast. I'm Black Chestnut. With me, I have Lucas
Hello.
and Ricola.
Hi.
Today, we're going to be talking about our predictions for the Game Awards, going over the nominees, talking about what we think will win, what we want to win, which is two very different things,
Yes.
and what we think should have been nominated instead,
Yes.
Yay,
of course.
Woohoo.
And we're going to be going them in order of least important award to most important, starting off with the most anticipated game award.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, the award
The most cynical
game
award
that
possible.
Yeah, award given to the game that hasn't even come out yet.
Yep.
What the-
Well, Elden Ring, it's that much
Yeah.
fun. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm mildly excited for Breath of the Wild 2 and Starfield I'm interested in, but yeah, it's Elden Ring.
yeah.
Considering Elden Ring won last year's most anticipated game of the award, it's probably going to win again, considering
mean-
the hype has only gone up.
The only one that even can compete is the Breath of the Wild, and I still don't see where the competition is for this one, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, these
it
are
also
good.
helps that Elden Ring's coming out very soon compared to Breath of the Wild, which won't come out till like maybe November of next year.
That's true. So yeah, the hype cycle for Elden Ring are like, ooh, look, it's real soon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because that
so-
comes out in February.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can see that. Yeah, the God of War Ragnarok for the Forbidden West. They're like, yeah, they're games. They just
I mean,
kind of
they
Yeah.
aren't bad games. They just don't compete with Elden
just-
Ring.
they're just sequels
Yeah.
that just kind of look, yeah, okay.
I mean, and remember, this is the most anticipated game award. This is about the game that's most hyped to come out.
Yeah, and
So obviously, Elden Ring's gonna win.
Yes.
Although Silksong not being on this list is a travesty.
We don't know when that's coming out. It could be years away still.
I don't know. I think I'd put Silksong over Starfield.
almost definitely.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, the Breath of the
Silksong
Wild.
could come out at any time. It's just a matter of when they decide to stop putting more stuff in it.
Yeah, well, it's Team Cherry, whatever. I remember they kept teasing me with the Switch port to Hollow Knight. I waited years for that.
It came
Oh,
out
like-
eventually.
It did. It did come out eventually, but it was just constantly like, this is any day now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My vote's going to Elden Ring.
Same.
Yeah. The only other game that's close to Elden Ring is like Splatoon 3. That game should also be on this list.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'd say Splatoon sounds exciting. Splatoon 3 is exciting, but I'm not like.
Well, it's exciting to Splatoon fans.
That's true. I like Splatoon, but yeah, it's not like, yeah, I gotta play this right now or I'll murder something.
Yeah.
That's the highest level of hype, I assume. All right, want to move on to our next?
Yes, let us move on to the next one.
Best debut indie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go. And honestly, Kena Bridge of Spirits is probably the strongest one amongst these. The 5 choices are The Artful Escape, The Forgotten City, Sable, Valheim, and then Kena Bridge of Spirits.
Yeah.
I've heard the most about Kena.
Yeah, I generally just have passing knowledge of most of these games. I've seen Valheim, but it's mostly just kind of a survival game. So like,
No,
Well,
it's a-
Valheim's
it's
pretty
a
popular.
It's a pretty good survival game. I actually was debating on playing it.
yeah, I've heard it's good, but it didn't like grab you like anything like look particularly interesting to me. Sable, I'm the most interested out of all these that I actually want to play. So
Really, I actually haven't heard too much about Sable. Like, briefly,
it looks like you ride around a desert in that cool vehicle thing there.
Oh,
So
interesting art style. So, I mean, that's what kind
Yeah,
of
it's
grabbed me
cool.
initially about it.
Yeah.
What about
For
you,
me,
Chestnut?
I'd
Yeah.
probably say, maybe either Kena or maybe Valheim. But I'm also kind of looking at the Artful Escape and
Yeah.
thinking that could win potentially.
possibly. I didn't
That
know-
game had a lot of cool stuff going for it.
Yeah, I hadn't really heard about it until it was here at the Game Awards actually.
Yeah.
So, although it does look pretty interesting visually at least. So, yeah, hard to talk about this one because we haven't played any of these.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard
I was
the most
thinking of
about.
getting Kena, but I just didn't get around to it.
Yeah,
I've seen quite a bit of playthroughs and clips from it already. It looks really good.
Yeah. This year was pretty stacked with releases. So there was a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that I, even bought and then barely played because, something else came out
Yeah, I've been
that
too
I
busy.
needed to play more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I get
exactly. 100%.
it.
Yeah. So I didn't get to everything I wanted to this year. Just ran out of time.
But yeah,
Hmm.
I think Kina's gonna get my vote for this one. I hope it wins. I definitely think it would. I think
Yeah.
definitely the closest one would definitely either be the Artful Escape or Valheim. Just
Yeah.
because I know Valheim's really, really popular.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
God could win just because of popularity alone.
Yeah, for all I know, I could just be the unpopular opinion.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
Kina's.
overall, I'd say I'm pretty good with any of these games winning, except for I'd say the Forgotten City is like at the bottom of my list, but that's about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
I haven't seen
yeah,
too much of Forgotten City. I
I
was
haven't seen
looking
any.
up stuff about it before this, and apparently it's an expansion of a Skyrim mod that they just made into a standalone game. So, huh.
Neat.
Interesting. Um,
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to kind of talk about best debut indie just because I'm like, well, okay, well, which indie games came out this year that are from developers who haven't released a game yet?
yeah, that's
And
tricky.
then it's like, it's also kind of like, well, are they judging it by studio specifically or by developer specifically? Because it's like if you have a developer in a studio who's released a game, but then the studio itself hasn't released a game yet,
Yeah,
does that get counted?
yeah.
Especially if it's like an indie studio that maybe only has like 4 or 5 developers, and
Mhm.
one of the persons has launched a game
Yeah, what
before,
if they just
but
thrown
now
something in like
working on a
itch.io for
different
like a game
studio.
jam? Like
Yeah,
everyone's
like
done game
yeah, like what does that count? So
jam.
it's a little like
Yeah, having
I
like
mean,
an
it
yeah,
says best debut game created by a new independent studio, so I'm assuming it's like specifically new studio,
yeah,
not necessarily new developer. And if it's a solo dev, then they'll count the
they'll
dev
count as
themselves as a studio,
yeah.
which makes sense.
I
So I
I
guess
like
if they're going by
I like
that
the idea
structure,
behind this award, but yeah, it is a bit
yeah, I
vague.
like the idea behind it too.
Yeah,
It's nice seeing that these indie games are getting some coverage though.
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
It's definitely tough
I
for
haven't
any
heard of a couple
company.
of these.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
hadn't heard.
Although I
But
do definitely feel like there was some games that could have also been nominated.
yeah.
Just off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure Eastward was the first game
Oh
from
yes, most
Dead Studio.
definitely.
I'm
Oh,
pretty
Yes.
sure that was their first game. Um,
And that actually was
I'm
pretty.
surprised I didn't get nominated for anything.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Huh.
yeah.
I totally forgot about that, but now
I'm
that you bring that up,
I think Ender Lilies was the first game from said studio. I'd actually have to check the store page for Steam.
Um, Ender Lilies.
I think it was. I think it was
Well,
their first release. Yep.
well, they don't have a Wikipedia page, so I can't
Yeah.
check.
the Binary Haze Interactive
At the
company.
very least, they don't have any other games on Steam. So,
Okay.
no, the Binary Haze Interactive was the publishers. Livewire was the
Mhm.
developer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
I mean,
So
I know it's a Japanese indie studio, but yeah.
I think it is their first game because it's saying that they were created to bring like, let me quote
yeah,
it.
that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, for me personally, I'd probably, I would say Ender Lilies probably should have been nominated. For me personally, it'd probably be the one I would want to win out of the
For
stuff that wasn't nominated.
yeah, for debut indie.
Yeah. Because I really loved Ender Lilies. That game was great.
Yeah. That was the one where it was a Metroidvania with stands, yes?
Yes.
Awesome. You want to move to content creator of the year then?
I suppose we can move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. What do we got?
Well,
Okay.
well, we all know who. Well, it's got to be Dream who wins. It's
We
like
don't know that.
it's
Yeah,
gonna.
I'm sorry. I said who do we got because I don't know any of these names besides Dream.
Yeah, we got Dream. I don't know how to pronounce any of these
I think
people's
it's
names. I'm
just
gonna be 100% honest.
Yeah, like I don't even want to say these names because I don't
I
want to
think
butcher
Gref
them.
is a really good username though. Gref.
Yeah.
It's a good
Is
one.
that
So
is
there's like Fuseli.
I've
I'm
heard
not
of her.
sure.
I've heard her name at least.
Galgus. Iba.
Ebi.
Eyeball.
Ebi.
Ebi,
Ebi.
Gauls,
Ebi.
Fuzzly,
Okay.
and Grefk.
Okay. Ebi should win.
Yeah, because he has the funny GIF drawn on.
Yeah.
So
He's got the
he-
whiteboard.
I'm
GIF.
giving it to Dream. I don't want to get hunted down in my sleep.
Plus, from what I heard, I'm pretty sure he's a Spanish YouTuber, right?
I believe
That's-
so. Let
I
me
believe
just
That's what I've
clarify.
heard, because I don't really know much about him. From what I've heard, he's a really cool guy. So I'm gonna give it to him.
He's actually he's an internet celebrity, streamer, and esports commentator.
Okay.
Everyone's an esports commentator. I could be an esports commentator if I just walked up to her and be like, I know how to play this game.
You see, but do you know
Yeah.
how to talk in front of millions of people on live television?
We're doing a live podcast right now.
But for millions of people, we only have
Well,
thousands
You
of
could
people.
be a game commentator and like do it at your locals with like 20 people.
Yeah, but like on a stage, like League of Legends.
Yeah,
Oh, they
you
don't-
could do that
It's
on a
probably
stage.
on a stage.
It's different. Like there's scales to it, okay? Like
Okay.
Yeah,
You
they
know.
don't usually have the commentators on a cage. They're usually just like a booth.
yeah.
No. At esports, there's literally
Okay,
a stage.
there's, like, Okay, yeah, you could be a game commentator for a big game, or you can be a commentator for a small game, but that still doesn't change the fact that you're doing a commentator,
Okay,
you know?
well, he's a presenter for G2 Esports.
Yeah.
So
play.
he's
Well,
on,
obviously,
he's on the
he's
big
on
scale.
the high echelon, he's in the high tier.
He's a big
Mhm.
boy.
But anyway,
Makes-
this is important. This is silly.
You know what? Since we talked about him that much, he's getting it.
Yeah.
Ebi, you won an over Dream. You better win this, man.
Yeah,
It's gotta
I
be
think
true.
I got the. He looks
know-
really confident in his picture. He's got this.
You know, I really, it sucks because I wish I could have said Jacksepticeye should have been on this, but I
Is
just
he
feel-
that relevant this year? Like-
I just feel like progressively that whole like group of streamers, they've all progressively gotten like slightly worse just because of the pandemic and stuff that's infected them. Like they've lost family members and just they haven't been
that.
able to pump out the same quality content that they used to, and it's not their fault. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. For me personally, I'm sitting here being like, "Where's Germa?
I know. Did you? Anyone?
Hello?
Did they even see the dollhouse?
Yeah,
Where
it's like
people on
the
Twitch,
Dollhouse production alone,
Yeah.
Germa should be nominated."
where they played. If you're not aware of what the dollhouse was, they just Twitch chat just played The Sims, where Germa was the Sim in real life. It was
Yeah.
incredible. They like released a clown on him or something. So yeah, he should have won multiple awards. He should have won Game of the Year for that. That's technically a game.
yeah.
but yeah. As far as this list goes, Ebi is getting the vote for me.
Okay, but
personally.
if Dream wins, then how will Dream accept his award?
He won't show up in person. I guarantee it.
He will show up in person, but with the mask on.
He's gonna be like Marshmallow. He's just
Yeah,
gonna be wearing
exactly.
He's just gonna be wearing like a box hat.
Okay, this
of
is
that.
top secret, but all of his real life pictures are actually not pictures of him. They're pictures of someone else wearing the mask.
I know.
That's
So-
crazy.
It's not. They're gonna have someone else in the mask to pick it up.
Yeah,
Possibly.
like in the end of fucking Code Geass.
Oh yeah. Dream never died. They're gonna kill Dream on stage. They're gonna spin
Oh
Zachary
my
Goodman.
No way. That would. Oh my goodness.
Public execution.
No,
The
let's
fake
stop.
Dream is gonna murder the real Dream on stage.
Yeah, the real Dream's gonna be in the crowd, and the fake Dream's gonna take the hat off and be like, "I'm not the
He's
real
gonna-
Dream.
Oh,
He's the
no.
real Dream."
No, he's
Use
gonna
the
pretend to be
trophy
the real Dream.
as like a knife. Like that's why it has the pointy wings.
Oh, okay.
This is terrible.
Okay, let's just stop talking about Dream's death before we become dead.
We made jokes about like Reggie doing this at E3, I thought, so this isn't too far removed.
Okay, Ebi, you get it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna win.
Yes. Okay, best
No
multiplayer.
Germa. Yeah, best multiplayer game.
Okay,
Played
so
these.
we actually got some decent ones here.
You want to say what got nominated?
Yes, so Back for Blood, Knockout City, It Takes Two, Monster Hunter Rise, New World, and Valheim. Valheim's get two potential.
Ah, well,
See,
Yeah,
it's not New World.
nominations.
see now Valheim's pushing his luck. You know,
I don't
every game
know.
gets one category they get nominated and not two.
You know, it could be New World just because, Jeff Bezos might have given Jeff Keighley a lot of money.
True.
Yeah,
Mm,
not gonna
You
lie
see-
though, Back for Blood though is hitting different.
I'm surprised you were instantly like, oh, Knockout City, yo.
Knockout City, it's good, but I've been playing a lot more Back for Blood.
Yeah.
Like they haven't really added much to Knockout City. It's good. It's exactly what I wanted. It's just like they didn't add much.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, probably what's going to win is It Takes Two because that's nominated for Game of the Year.
Okay.
And
But
so,
I don't
like,
think it'll be
9
though, so.
times out of 10, when there's like a game that's nominated for something else and that's also nominated for Game of the Year, the one that's also nominated for Game of the Year will always win, that award,
Yeah.
Okay.
even if they don't necessarily win Game of the Year.
Okay. And
Yeah, yeah.
I
Like, just the
don't.
fact that It Takes Two is nominated for Game of the Year, but none of these other ones are, it kind of like, signifies that It Takes Two is probably going to win this.
Yeah, it's a consolation prize. Because I don't see It Takes Two winning Game of the Year.
Yeah. But it's going to get nominated and it's going to, and it won this, and it's probably going to win this.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's my prediction.
No, I haven't actually played any of these games.
I've played 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh wow, really?
We'll eventually get to categories with games we've actually played.
Yes. New World, though, I know that you could put HTML script in the chat and run it. So that was
New
That
World's
was something.
actually New World's kind of fun. It's just a grind fest.
yeah.
Um,
No, it doesn't have to be a grind fest. Just put HTML script in the chat to give
No.
yourself unlimited money.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter Rise is
And
is
inflate the
also-
economy. Economy.
I've only played an hour of it. That's it.
Monster Hunter Rise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Knockout
But was
City
the
was good.
multiplayer dope in it though?
That's what I played, and it's like it was okay. I was just saying because that's why I haven't really talked about it. I thought it was meh.
Okay.
It just looks like another Monster game to me.
Yeah,
from
it
what
just
I've
looks
seen.
like another Monster Hunter game, but better, slightly better online co-op.
Okay.
Okay.
So I mean, Back for Blood for me. I think your prediction though, Black Chestnut, is pretty accurate. I wouldn't doubt you're right.
Yeah.
I personally Back for Blood.
Yeah.
I'd probably end up liking Back for Blood most out of these, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Although, there is definitely something to say about Valheim because I know the multiplayer in that is really good.
Yeah.
That's true. It is. I just haven't seen. It hasn't wowed me that much, and I've played Back for Blood straight up, so I have more of a
Right.
attachment to
I-
the
I
game.
totally get that. Yeah.
And I do really like It Takes Two, like conceptually as a multiplayer game. But I just haven't played it, so
Yeah.
I can't pick
It
it.
has very cool asynchronous co-op
Yeah. Yeah, just playing a whole 3D platformer of someone
where
sounds really fun.
where you both have to work together, but you both have different abilities,
Yeah.
and then
sounds
it's constantly swapping up what you can actually do because
Ooh,
it keeps changing scenarios and stuff.
yeah, sounds fun.
It's like one level, one of the characters like shoots a goo gun, and then the other one shoots a gun that makes the goo explode.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
And the director of it is a legend, so.
Oh yeah. Made famous from the Game Awards. Close
Yeah.
friend to Jeff Keighley and very much hater of the Oscars.
I hope we get that guy back.
Oh, he'll be back.
We're gonna have to sober him up though this time.
He's gonna. What do you think's gonna happen when he walks on stage to accept his best multiplayer award?
Oh yeah.
Do you think he's gonna come up drunk?
He was so wasted that one time. It's like, oh my god.
He was having a good time. He was enjoying the award.
I
That's
was
why he
having a
got
great-
invited back.
Yeah, I was having a great time as well.
Yeah. That's the thing I could say. Sometimes, they don't give out the correct awards, but at the very least, they're always fun to watch.
Some of that one, there was one that, like, in the past couple of years, I remember finding really boring. I can't remember which one
Last
that was.
year's was pretty bad, honestly.
Okay. But
Honestly, though, I can blame that like a lot on just every award going to
Last
The
of Us
Last of
too.
Us.
Yeah,
And it's just like kind of overrated. But at the same time, I can't even really say it's overrated because there's like arguably more people that hate that game than love it.
Yeah. Hmm.
I wouldn't say it's underrated either.
Yeah, so it's rated.
Yes, it is a very rated game.
Let's move on to the sports game.
Okay.
Yeah, sports and racing.
Hot
Yes.
Wheels. I haven't played any of these, but it's Hot
Okay.
Wheels.
Where the hell is Rocket League?
Well, Rocket League didn't come out this year.
No, no.
Rocket League won Best Indie over Undertale. It won more awards than it should ever have. So
No, Rocket League.
it shouldn't be nominated for Best Racing Game 5 years after it came out.
It's not even a racing
Actually,
game.
6 years. 6 years after it came out.
It's not even a racing game.
Yes, it
Well,
is.
you drive a car, and it's a sport game.
You drive around and play
No,
football.
no. It's soccer, and
It's
you drive a car. It's both sports and racing.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry.
It's the
I
best
bet
of both
British
worlds.
football. I'm sorry.
You guys disgust me.
I mean, the year it came out, it definitely should have won this award.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways,
It's
I'm
both
just-
sports and racing,
I'm
so
just
it has
trolling.
dual wield strength on this one.
yeah.
Okay.
It's
well,
power stancing.
yes. It's in final form. It's ready. But
As for
anyways,
this
Not
one,
a FIFA game. That feels like such a placeholder. Like, oh yeah, it's a FIFA game. That doesn't
I-
deserve it.
so okay, let's actually go over the nominees.
Yep, go ahead.
There's F1 2021. I don't even know what that game is. I've never heard of it before.
Formula
It-
One racing game.
yeah, it's
I
a-
don't
Oh,
know.
Formula One racing. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Now I know what it is. Okay. FIFA, 22 hasn't. It's not the year 2022 yet. Yay!
They
You
do that
got
with
the calendar wrong.
all,
They already released WWE 22 as well. They're
and
crazy.
Madden,
These guys don't know how to work a calendar.
Yeah.
Shame.
and then the best one. Go ahead.
Yeah, Forza Horizon 5,
Yep.
which is probably gonna win.
Yes.
A real best game
No.
on this
Yes.
list.
No.
Wheels Unleashed.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Dude, I would have loved this game as a kid. I loved Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels were
loved
the shit.
to ride my Hot Wheels down my stairs. It was
I like how you
awesome.
say riding them is like implying like you're sitting on top of them or something.
Well,
like
as a
running
kid,
them.
as a kid, you think you are like seriously.
Yeah. And then Riders Republic is the last game nominated.
Riders Republic actually looks cool as shit. Not
What is
gonna
this,
lie.
Trials game?
Yeah. I just remember seeing it at like Ubisoft's presentation and then not thinking about it because it was an Ubisoft presentation. So I immediately wrote it off.
I've
So
actually
wait, it's
seen
an Ubisoft motorcycle game and it's not a new Trials game? Oh, it's
Yeah.
3D, I think. Okay.
Yes. It's more or less just a Trials game in 3D.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Forza is
Forza
gonna
will
this
win.
one.
Forza it looks good, it plays good, the cars are so much more accurate. Like it feels like it's a complete jump.
Does it
from
have
the
Hot
previous-
Wheels?
Actually, it has Legos.
Oh,
that's really good.
It has
forgot
Lego.
about
It has a
cars.
whole entire Lego land that
I
you
I
forgot they made the
remember
Lego
that
Racers
was like
too.
at E3. Was that this year or last year that they had the Lego Forza car?
They had the Lego Forza car for Forza Horizon 4, but I'm pretty sure they already confirmed they're bringing it back to
No,
5.
they
Yeah.
announced like a full expansion. I think last E3 then, because I remember they had like the full.
Yes.
thing.
Right.
Which the fact that they made the whole basically the entire map and game, all the cars, all the NPCs into a Lego world that you race with. And
Yeah.
then you could also bring certain cars back to the real world and race them against real cars.
Just like Lego Island.
Exactly. But it's so cool.
Yeah. I'd say Forza wins this one. I wouldn't even know it. Like the new Gran Turismo game hasn't come out yet, right?
Nope.
That one's
Not
not
even
coming
on
out
this
till
list.
next year.
It's not even on this list.
Yeah, obviously it's not on this list.
It's not on the previous list with the most anticipated game. because
Right.
I feel like I've heard mixed feelings about it.
The new Gran Turismo.
Yeah, it's not that like hype, I
Well, has it
guess.
come out yet,
No, no, no,
or
no, no, no. Like the
it hasn't come
anticipation.
out yet?
No, the
Okay.
anticipation for it to come out is just like it's mixed
Right.
reviews. People are just
I
like,
remember the last time they showed it off. It was at that big PlayStation showcase, and I initially thought the trailer for it was like a new Castlevania game
Oh
because it
yeah.
had like organ music playing at the beginning, and there was like a big tree,
like it was
and then it
just
turned into Gran Turismo, and I was like, God fucking damn it!
you got
Dracula
pranked.
driving cars now.
You got pranked.
Yeah,
But yeah, let's Forza
I got
Horizon 5.
Filthy Frank pranked. Yeah, Forza's gonna win.
All right.
Next category,
Yep, we got best sim
best sim.
and strategy. Here,
Yeah.
I'll read the ones for this because
Okay.
So we got Age of Empires. What is that? 6,
Four.
4.
That's
I always get that confused. With
You
the
got it
voting rules.
backwards.
Yeah, exactly. So Age of Empires 4, Evil Genius 2, World Domination. Haven't heard of this game before.
I've heard the name.
Looks kind of cool though.
I've seen a little bit of it. But yeah.
Humankind, Inscription, and Microsoft Flight Simulator. Wow, really?
Yeah.
Flight Simulator.
Microsoft Flight, the new
I'm
Flight
not-
Simulator was really popular.
Wow.
Yeah,
like-
didn't Flight Simulator come out last year though?
I'm
I thought it did, but I don't know. They have some sort of. They must have some sort of weird awards period. But then
I
SSG 5
suppose.
is nominated here, even though that came out after. this
Yeah, that
awards
came out
period.
like a few weeks ago.
It came out like halfway. It came out August 17th, 2020. Microsoft.
Yeah.
So like
So it's like, why is this even on the
it's
list?
over
Like,
a
shouldn't
year
have
old.
that? Wasn't it nominated last year?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Was there just not enough like simulation / strategy games to fill up the list, and they had to put Flight Sim on again?
No. Like
Who knows?
no, there's definitely other Sims.
They
Yeah.
had their reasons.
I don't know. I mean, like, not a bad game. You know, definitely worthy of being up for an award. I'd say.
Yeah, it's on a technical
You know,
level. It's pretty insane.
it's a
Yeah.
really good flight
You
simulation
got the
game.
entire
The-
planet. as
The
well.
graphics are really nice
Yeah.
in it. Like,
Like
that
graphics,
picture.
you have to have like a 3080 just to fucking run that shit.
Oh yeah,
You know,
Actually, they actually optimized it pretty well. So I don't.
yeah.
think,
There is. I believe there's a
Yeah.
streaming mode they have now. Where
well,
you
I
can
mean to like run it at like max
Oh,
settings. and whatnot.
yeah.
At like
Oh, yeah.
the higher
Yeah, I've
settings.
seen footage of it. It's the clouds are like the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Like that screenshot they got for if anybody's listening back, the screenshot they got up there is straight up a picture from right inside the game, and
Yeah.
that little box that they show you still like shows like you can see the streets, you can see the details in the plane, the shadowing, the sun.
Yeah, it's a very crazy game.
Yeah,
It's really good.
yeah.
Like all things considered.
All things
Like-
considered.
Like honestly, I'd say, and you could argue that it's a perfect game if you want to make the argument for like setting out for what you want to do.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
is a flight simulator where your scale is as big as possible. Like,
Yeah,
man,
You
the next
could
game they're
also
going to
do
have to add more
You
planets.
could also say the same thing about Humankind because Humankind, I
Humankind
feel
just don't look very Civ to me. They really stand out.
well,
too
it
much.
is like that's very much
it's
the same
game,
genre.
but I felt like they definitely did a good amount different about the game. I think they nailed
Okay.
it.
Yeah,
They have
like
this-
you can definitely compare it to Civ because
they're virtually
same genre.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, so
no, but I definitely think they've done significant different, like their whole different thing about it because they are virtually the same game. But I think they did enough and they nailed exactly what they advertised, and I like
Okay.
it a lot.
Is it better than Civ 6, though? Like, should I buy this
I
instead of
haven't gotten
Civilization?
Civ 6, so I can't compare
Oh,
it.
you have Civ? Oh, I thought you did.
Nope, just Civ
Oh.
5.
I thought you had Civ. All right.
No, I never
Okay.
got around to it because I like Civ 5. I was like, I don't dislike anything about this. I didn't see anything that they added.
didn't feel like
Yeah,
getting
also,
the next one.
yeah.
No, plus you gotta wait for all the expansions to come out before you really get the next, Civ
That's
game.
true.
Wow,
But
I get that.
real quick, what's Inscription?
It's like a
it is an indie card game.
weird
So
horror as well.
I remember we briefly
not
talking
that
about
horror.
this.
It
It's
has
creepy.
a lot of meta elements.
Okay.
In order to like talk about the game really and like go deep in it, it goes into like big spoilers.
Okay.
So like because like how it's advertised is actually only a very small section of the game the game changes drastically as it progresses, but I can't really talk about that any further without spoiling it heavily. But like, so all the
So-
marketing and stuff, it shows you like in the cabin playing the card game and stuff. That's
It.
actually only a very small part of that game.
Okay. So
Like that's only like a third of the game.
so bare minimum, it's a card. It's a card game.
Yes, it stays a card game the whole time.
Okay.
It doesn't like change genres or anything, but the game does evolve as you play it. It has a lot of meta elements going on. There's like a big meta narrative as a whole. I'm not gonna like talk about it just for spoilers' sake. I haven't played the game yet myself, but I have watched like a full let's play of it.
So what you're saying is that this is the next Undertale. That this is what I'm hearing here.
It
Okay. Can we
some
talk about?
elements. Okay, keep in mind the developer of Inscription was the guy who made Pony Island.
Oh, okay. I know exactly what this game is now in my brain. Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, anyone familiar with that game, it's not that far off from that.
Okay. I get this game now.
Can we talk?
And on top of that, it's also a really fucking solid card game.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
has
Oh, yeah.
really fun mechanics. It's really great. The internal deck building in it is really fun. Like as the game evolves and changes, it's really cool. Honestly, a really amazing game. I am planning on playing it soonish.
Hey,
Like I've been planning on picking it up. Just because it's one of those things where you can watch a let's play of it and know immediately, oh, this is actually awesome. You know, it's like sure I might
Devolver
have
Digital did
spoiled the
this?
story and
Nice.
stuff for myself, but the game itself is still so fun, you know, to play that I would still want to pick it up and play it and experience for myself, even though I got spoiled on it by intentionally watching a let's play. And keep in mind, I watched a let's play because I wasn't really sure on the game. Like I knew about it and I was interested in it, but I wasn't so interested to like pick it up
Right.
and try it for myself. Like I
Right.
wasn't sure on it. And then after watching, you know, said let's play, which I watched Vinny play it. You know, Vinny Vinesauce, and I was like, oh damn, this game's amazing. Like, gotta play this. So I'm planning on picking it up soon and playing it for myself. But you know, that being said, personally, I would say out of these games nominated, I would go for Inscription. That's the one that gets my vote.
Nice.
I don't know if it will necessarily win the award, but it's the one that I personally feel.
Okay, can we talk about how I'm getting Darth Maul vibes from those pair of eyes that's staring at you?
From the screenshot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Lishi.
Nice. Lishi looks like Darth Maul.
You know, I think I've played the demo. Okay, I'm looking it up. I played Sacrifices Must Be Made, his original demo version of this from years ago. I've played that.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know when I played that. I just know I have.
Yeah. Like honestly, it's like a really cool card game because later in the game it will start tackling newer and different mechanics. So the game starts off with a card game system similar to say Yu-Gi-Oh, like season 1, where you have to sacrifice your cards in order to play stronger cards. And that's how it works. But then as the game progresses, you'll get different and like more ones. Like you'll get bones, where it's like when a card dies for any reason, you'll get a bone token and you have to spend a certain amount of bone tokens to play a card. And then you'll get an energy system where it's actually similar to the mana system in Legends of Runeterra, the League of Legends card game. It's very similar to how that works. I think that's also how it works in Hearthstone, but I'm not familiar because I don't know anything about Hearthstone because I've never played it or even watched anyone play it, honestly. But I think that's how that system works too. Maybe I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, the point is, it's like you need a certain amount of energy to play a card, and you get one new energy point per turn with up to a cap. And every turn, all of your energy will really refill no matter how much you've spent, and you'll get a new one. So like you start off with like 1 energy, and you can only play a 1 energy card or 0 energy card. And then at turn 2, you'll get 2 energy, and if you spent that 1 energy, it'll be refilled, you know, and so on and so forth. And then there's another one where it's like you have to play cards that will give you specific like gems, and then you'll be able to play cards that have correlating gem stuff. And the mechanics are really cool. Really cool card game. Really cool game all around. So I would say Inscription is my pick.
Awesome.
Yeah, I haven't played these. I gotta get around to it.
I'm gonna go for Humankind for my vote. What about you, Ricola?
Yeah, probably Inscription as well because I haven't played much of all these.
Awesome.
I've been meaning to buy Inscription for a while now, so
Sweet.
it's going on sale, but I keep never grabbing it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up Inscription soon.
All right.
Well,
Let's move on to the next one. We got Best Family Award.
see,
Yeah.
I thought this was literally Best Family at first, not Best Family Game. I was really confused for a little bit. But
Yeah, this is the award that they let Nintendo participate.
it is.
They're like, we need a category for Nintendo, so
Yeah.
Nintendo can win a award. So out of the nominees, there's It Takes Two, Mario Party Superstars, New Pokemon Snap, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, and WarioWare Get It Together.
I'll
So
give it to
4 out of the 5s are Nintendo,
Yes.
and I'm not 100% sure if I necessarily classify It Takes Two as a family game, but
It's a
Yeah,
game
I
you
was
could
gonna say I don't
play
know
with
about
your
that one.
child. It would be enjoyable.
well, I guess if the idea of family is like you and your spouse,
Maybe? Okay.
I think that's what they mean by best family game, because that's kind of the intended play. It's for you and your spouse who's in a bad relationship, who are considering divorce. This is what you're supposed to play. It Takes Two.
That should be on the cover. By the way, I like how it says for the best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform. So here's 4 games from the Switch.
Yeah.
So
Did they really call the new Pokemon Snap just new Pokemon Snap?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Well, they did that with Mario before and the DS.
Okay. Yeah, it's dumb, but
New 3DS. It's new Super Mario Bros. Keep in mind, new Super Mario Bros., the one that came on DS Lite, is now like
old.
at least 15 years old at this point.
Old.
When did it come out? 2006?
Somewhere around there, yeah. Because DS is like 2005.
Yeah, let me Google it
It
really
wasn't a
quick.
long ago, I don't think.
It was 2006.
Yeah.
I was right. Which means it is like 15 years old at this point.
But so what's your pick for best family?
I think Mario 3D World will probably win. Out of
honestly,
the
Yeah.
bunch, it's
Superstars.
probably the most quality. It is
Which-
a bit of a re-release, but it also has more than enough new content and quality of life improvements to the game.
Yeah, I suppose.
Considering that it has an entire new game slapped on top of it, I'd
Yeah.
say it's worth being eligible.
Yeah.
Um,
WarioWare is pretty cool though.
out of the ones I've played, I think WarioWare is the only one I've played of these.
Really?
Because I bought Super Mario 3D World, but I haven't actually played it yet, despite the fact that it came out in like February.
I played a decent
I
amount.
just didn't like a few weeks after it came out.
Right.
Like Bravely Default 2 came out, and then I played that for 120 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give my vote for WarioWare Get It Together because it's the only game that features Ashley from WarioWare.
I'm gonna give it to Mario's Party Superstars.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
that's valid. It is like the first good Mario Party game in over 10 years.
Yep. And
What's
that's
the last one on Switch? Okay.
The last one was okay, but this one was drastically better.
Okay. Yeah, the last one had really lame maps.
Yeah.
This one is just like, okay, let's just take all the good maps and just
Yeah.
make it.
This one's like as good as the old, actually good ones, you know?
Yeah.
Back when Mario Party was good. So, very valid.
all right. What about you, Ricola?
Oh yeah, probably WarioWare. I played 3D World, but I don't know if I can in faith give it to a game that's like 90% a port. Bowser's Fury is cool, but I didn't love it that much.
Bowser's Fury, you could say, is at least 30 to 40% of that game.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't
But
like.
yeah, I'd give it to WarioWare too. WarioWare, I can also say, had a really cool implementation of multiplayer
Oh yeah,
for the WarioWare series, and it also just took WarioWare in general in a new direction that was pretty cool.
which is nice.
It's a really cool, interesting idea that I
Because
feel
all
like
the
was very
WarioWare
well
games have
executed.
weird gimmicks. The multiplayer one is an interesting new weird gimmick.
Yeah, it's not just multiplayer, but also being able to control the
Yeah,
characters
yeah.
and stuff for the mini games. I think that was a really cool idea that was well executed.
And it's fun. And yeah, the way all the did they have mini games from older games occasionally too that they found a way to make work the 2D? I think they did. If I remember.
I don't think they did. I think these were all original.
Are
The
they all
only
original?
one, yeah, I'm pretty sure these were all new and original.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that was kind of part of the criticism from the last WarioWare game because the last
Yeah.
one was like before this was gold, and that was kind of like a best of collection.
Yeah, it didn't really feel like a new entry,
And so
despite.
people were like, really wanting to see a new WarioWare game that didn't have any returning ones. They just wanted new stuff.
I mean, yeah,
And
and it's
so
good.
I think that was the correct approach, considering the last one was before it was a best of.
Mhm.
Mhm. So we all good? Feeling move on?
Yes, and our next one is gonna be best fighting game,
Yes.
and I'm just gonna say this flat out before we say any. Okay, hold on. We'll say the 5
Okay.
nominees. We got the Demon Slayer fighting game, Kimetsu no Yaiba. We got
Say the
Guilty,
you forgot the third subtitle.
the Hinokami Chronicles. There we go.
It's got two
Well
subtitles.
done.
Guilty Gear Strive, Melty Blood Type Lumina,
Okay.
Nickelodeon All Star Brawl, and then Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. I'm already saying right off the bat, my vote's going to the Demon Slayer fighting game.
You're insane.
Have you
No.
played it?
Yes, it's so good.
You're insane.
The art style they literally incorporated right from the picture perfect right from the anime. Voice lines are awesome. They
Have you seen Strive like a whole like one match at least?
yes, it's ugly.
You're insane.
This is madness.
Well, we can all agree Strive's winning, right? Like,
Okay, no.
Shy will probably win.
yeah. It's not my personal pick. My personal pick is Melty Blood Type Lumina. I really like that a lot. I like the art's gorgeous. I love the changes to like the shielding system and stuff. And like how you could mash buttons to automatically do a combo. That's great.
Yeah. But what if the most insane out of this world possible happens and Multi Blood does actually win? Will the Multi Blood players finally be able to get to leave the Evo restroom?
Finally. I think it's going to be really funny, actually, if the next Melty Blood is part of the main Evo lineup and Melee isn't. That would be hilarious. I'm really looking forward to that.
No, what's gonna happen is Nickelodeon All Star Brawl is gonna win.
Yeah.
And that one's gonna be part of the Evo lineup, but not Melee.
Holy crap. If that happens, that'd be even funnier, but I don't know if I'd enjoy that timeline.
Yeah.
Virtua Fighter 5, I didn't see too much of that after it came out.
Isn't that just a remake?
Is it?
I'm not sure.
I thought it was a new
I honestly
entry.
don't know.
I just saw
I
people
don't follow it enough.
I just saw people talking about it when it came out, and then boom, like a month later, like nothing. Like I still see people playing Melty Blood, and Strive still gets its DLC every once in a while, so that keeps it, kind of
Yeah.
talked about.
Although, yeah, in serious, I kind of do think it will be Strive that will
Yeah.
win.
Yeah, I think Strive's probably gonna win. Just
For the most part, it deserves it.
yeah, art's gorgeous. It's pretty accessible. It's good.
All
Why
right.
is Demon Slayer nominated?
Why?
Yeah, so hot.
They ran out of other fighting games to
No,
nominate.
no, it's because it's good.
Like
You guys-
okay, what is like the fifth fighting game that came out this year that wasn't Demon Slayer? That
There's
was
gotta
one
be
of these
another.
other four.
There's gotta be another one. The King of Fighters network test. Yeah, I don't know.
Retromania Wrestling.
Did you just Google
Yes. Big Rumble Boxing.
Big Rumble Boxing? Okay.
Yes.
There had to have been a new Street Fighter 2 port that came out this year, right?
I don't know. I don't think
One
we
comes
did.
out every year.
Oh
We
yeah,
get a-
the Phantom Breaker game.
Oh,
Phantom Breaker Omnia.
I haven't heard of that one. I haven't heard it.
Why don't we travel back in time and make it so that the Castlevania fighting game released this year as opposed to the year it actually released?
And
Then
also
nominate
it's
that.
for Wii still
Yeah.
with motion controls. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Simon Belmont's like wearing like tight leather shorts.
Simon Beaumont is always wearing tight leather short shorts.
Yeah, but his whole outfit is black leather. He's got like a metal rib cage or something. It's so bad. That game is like the worst art direction I've ever seen. Yeah, okay, so yeah, Strive's winning. Multi-Blood's my personal pick.
Yeah.
No chance.
I guess I'll
but
go
okay.
with Strive double pick that.
Sure.
Okay, next one.
Although honorable mentions the Melty Blood.
Yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
my number 2.
Very pretty.
No honorable mentions to
Lucas, go play Melty and play against me. It's very fun. You could just spam one button and do an automatic combo that even has like it knocks him up in the air automatically. It's wonderful.
You know
You
what?
can
You know
play as
what?
brain dead as possible and still have things turn out okay.
You know what? I'll take you up on that offer after
Yeah,
the stream.
Right. And you can play as Saber from Fate.
You're getting
What's
this
going on?
paw work, and that's that. Next topic.
What are you? I forgot his name.
Best role playing award.
You know the one guy, the fighting game guy?
Lotier God?
No, the other one. The
Oh.
furry.
Sonic Fox.
Yeah. What are you, Sonic Fox? Why are you
No,
gonna give him the paw work?
I'm gonna give him this paw work. and That's that.
I believe he did win a tournament in a fursuit, so he did that literally. He gave them ball work.
Yeah. Anyway, best role playing
Looking
game.
like- okay, Natalie, looking like you get this paw work.
Alright, best role playing. Let's move on.
Role playing
Cyberpunk
game.
2077.
Ew.
Monster Hunter Rise again. Ew.
What?
Scarlet
That's
Nexus. Yes, that's
Ew,
what I'm saying.
anime.
Scarlet Nexus. Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Ew, boobs.
It's got Jack Frost. It's got Jack Frost.
And Tales of Arise.
Ew, anime.
Ew. Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Oh, ew. Hyper realistic Keanu Reeves.
Is it hyper realistic or just realistic?
Oh yeah,
Big
this isn't Hyperscape. This is Cyberpunk. My bad.
Anyway. Okay, can we just talk about how Cyberpunk didn't fucking come out this year?
Yeah. So we can just like X that one off. It's not good.
No, but it still possibly could win, and that's scary.
Yeah, because it's nominated. It didn't come out this year. And 2, it shouldn't be up for nomination. It wasn't that fucking good.
Yeah.
It had
It-
so
it-
many
like-
problems.
Sure, there was a lot of good parts of it, but that doesn't exclude all the terrible glitchy parts, unfinished, broken mess that it was.
It'll
know?
probably be a cult game in like 5 years once there's a ton of patches and mods to fix the hell out of the game.
Oh, sure. It's
You know,
not
like-
that different from Skyrim, but at least Skyrim was like glued together well enough,
Yeah, Skyrim doesn't crash that badly.
Yeah. Like,
And-
it's so easy to break Cyberpunk.
My favorite glitch I've seen in Cyberpunk is the one dramatic scene where someone glitches and turns into a cow. That one, I will never recover from that.
Well, I've seen better glitches from Cyberpunk, but that's probably because you didn't watch Vinny's playthrough of it.
Did you see the stream where they were showing off how much they had fixed off, and then a guy just like fell from the sky and like disappeared?
Every instance involving the shrimp lady on Vinny's stream was an amazing testament to honestly how good the game can be at its height.
Cyberpunk
But at the
setting-
same time, my pick for best role playing game is not on this list.
Well, I'm gonna vote for SMT5 because it's the only one I'm planning to buy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say probably SMT5 too.
Yeah.
I'll
What
throw
about
Although
you?
that.
Tales of Arise, I'd be okay with that winning. Even though I
Yeah.
tried the demo and didn't care for it, I didn't think it was bad. I just didn't love it
Right.
A lot of the fun for the
personally.
combat is it opening up over time and you getting more abilities to make combos and stuff. That's kind of fun with the Tales games. So I don't know how much you could show
Yeah.
that for the demo.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah.
yeah. I just wasn't feeling it because I was like, I should not buy another $60 game
Yes, I get that.
that's way too long that I don't have time to play that I'm also not super interested in.
That's fair.
Yeah. Of course, the pick for me that should have been nominated at the very least over Cyberpunk at the very least
Yes.
was Bravely Default 2.
Yeah.
Like, come on, that game was amazing. I know nobody else liked it, but it was amazing, and my opinion is the only one that matters.
I'm
So,
really surprised Scarlet Nexus got even nominated. I've
yeah,
only seen one person ever play this, so
yeah.
yeah.
I saw some VTubers playing it when it came out.
Is this game VTuber paid?
No, I think they were literally paid to play it
Oh,
by
okay.
Bandai Namco.
Okay.
'Cause I don't think they did more than one stream of it.
Yeah, I heard it was alright, but like I'm surprised that got nominated over Bravely Default too, though.
Yeah. I'm surprised Cyberpunk got nominated over Bravely Default because it's like,
They
it
needed a
didn't come out this year.
they needed a Western game to balance it out, I guess.
It's like there's only one turn-based RPG even in here. All the other ones are action games, like action RPGs. And like Monster Hunter Rise, also arguably not an RPG. Like you could make the argument that it is
It's got
because of
RPG
the
elements,
armor and weapon systems,
but yeah, there's no.
but that's the only RPG elements in the game is that you can get better armor.
Yeah, it's not really.
It's
Although I find the RPG genre's definitions already kind of silly because most of them you don't even like do role playing. They're more.
eh, it depends on how it's
Yeah,
approached.
yeah.
It has to have role playing elements. It's a
So
role playing on a mechanical sense,
yeah,
not necessarily on a literal sense.
yeah.
Because
So
how I view RPGs as a genre is I kind of think of it as D&D, where the game itself is the dungeon master, right?
okay.
Is
Mhm.
is the DM,
Yeah.
and you are every single player.
Okay.
And so, you know, so you're role playing for all the characters effectively.
With a
Like
really
it's a single
railroady
player
character.
RPG where it has an automated DM that is literally the game. That's kind of how I see it as RPGs.
Yeah.
And so some RPGs have much more stricter stories, and I think of that as the DM who prepared their, plot for their story and stuff, and they really, really, really want you to follow the script.
They're forcing you.
Yes, to roleplay in the specific way that they want you to. And they'll give
Okay.
you some small choices here or there.
What sword
They'll
you
let you equip your guy, they'll let you change your loadout and give them, decide what spells you want to use.
but you're going to be fighting that boss.
Yeah, but like you're following the script because he worked all week on that, He put a lot of time into this, he put a lot of thought into this. You're going to enjoy it the way he wants you to enjoy it.
Yeah, it's whether you like it or not. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know what? Yeah, I can get behind with that analogy. I can get behind calling most RPGs then.
Yeah, that's how I see
Yeah,
video game RPG genre.
yeah.
But yeah,
But
my pick is Bravely Default 2.
I genuinely don't know what will win this. I genuinely have no clue what could win this.
It might be Rise. I think it's either going to be Monster Hunter Rise or Tales of Arise.
I could actually tell Rise maybe because that's sold really, really well actually.
Honestly, I don't think they'll give it to Cyberpunk. If they do, it'll be kind of like a "What the fuck are you doing, Jeff Keighley" moment.
Yes.
It's like giving it to award for a game that one didn't fucking come out this year and two was a fucking clusterfuck disaster.
Yeah.
over any of these other games that were, great fucking games.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say on Scarlet Nexus, but I can very at least say that it has shit going on and it's competent and
It
it's
doesn't
well
sound
put together and it's
Yeah.
not bad, you know?
Yeah.
It's a little generically anime,
Yeah, but well, what's your
but like that doesn't mean it's bad,
Yep.
you know? But yeah. My pick Bravely Default 2, subtle good. The RPG mechanics are off the charts. Combat, so good. Bravely Default system, so good. Job system, so good. You don't get better JRPGs than that.
All right. Well, let's move on to our next category then, because
Genre. Yeah, let's move on.
all right, the goofy category.
Yeah, specs action and adventure. And our
Yes.
nominees are Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village.
Resident Evil Village, my favorite action adventure game. It's so because this is the funniest genre
Yeah.
because it does apply to everything.
Yeah. See, I have a very distinct, definition for action adventure, and to me, it's like it's Zelda and
Yeah.
stuff adjacent to that, more or less. It's like it has to have one action and it has to have adventure mechanics.
Okay.
Like a point and click adventure game, because the idea of action adventure is it is intended to differentiate adventure games between point and click adventure games and
Yeah.
action adventure games.
Yeah.
One has real-time action elements as along with adventure, and the other one's point and click.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
the point. But because point and click adventure genre has become so rare to the point of basically non-existence these days,
Yeah.
did a new point and click adventure game even come out this year?
Yeah, I'm sure I've played one. I'm
I
just trying
mean,
to.
I'm sure there's some indie game point and click adventure indie games came out.
I mean, I did play Mist VR that came out like this year, but
Yeah, but that's like a re-release
it is a realist.
of an
Oh,
old
don't worry, plenty of point
action,
and clicks come out. I just can't name anyone off the top of my head.
Exactly. It's a much rarer genre these days. It's
Yeah,
not at its height anymore.
It's, mm,
Not to say that it's bad or anything. Point and clicks definitely have their merit and are great games.
yeah.
But
Um,
so to me, and plus it's like how I like define action for video games specifically is like melee combat. At least in a 3D space, if it's in 2D, I could get away with get away with calling like a 2D game that has range combat still action, Like I'd still say that like Mega Man is an action platformer despite the fact that you're shooting,
yeah,
you know. But when it goes into 3D, then I'm very much like, okay, it's action if it's melee, it's a shooter if it's ranged,
hmm
And just giving like Link a bow in Breath of the Wild doesn't make it a shooter because, you know,
The moral of the
yeah,
story is genres are silly.
they're not silly, but it's easy to. The problem. This is the problem with action adventure is that people aren't using it correctly. They're using it to apply to anything that has any like, your traversal, and then
Mhm.
any kind of, combat.
Yeah,
So like action adventure, and like for most developers and like in this case, is what it actually means is not action adventure. It means
video game.
combat and like some level of exploration or traversal, like level traversal,
Yeah,
That's effectively what it means when they say best action adventure. It's like this game has combat. We don't know what kind of combat, but it has combat. And you go around the world to some extent. There is a level that you have to go from point A to point B in.
Yes. It's like you may explore, but it can be as linear or not linear. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So it's kind of a bit of a crapshoot award, to be honest, because of that, in some aspects. You
I
know,
guess just pick your favorite of what they've given us.
yeah. And to be honest, I could say that every game on this list, except for personally Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, is good. I
Yeah.
think Dread's great. Psychonauts 2 is good. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart's really good. Resident Evil Village is really good.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You know, those 4 games are really strong.
Yep.
Less so Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. But, you know, I at
Yeah.
least can say it's better than the Avengers game.
Hey, I mean, that's not a high bar, but yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They beat that bar, but that's about it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
Rick rolls really early on, so it's got its merits.
Yeah. Although, what I will say is I'm pretty sure both Metroid Dread and Psychonauts 2 were nominated for Game of the Year. And the other 3 weren't,
Yes,
I'm
they
pretty
were.
sure.
I just
So whichever one wins, the other one will not win Game of the Year.
unless they like just give a bunch
know?
of awards to like Ratchet and Clank.
I could see Ratchet and Clank winning,
Yeah.
and then, you know, I could see Ratchet and Clank winning this.
I can see Ratchet and Clank winning a lot these Game Wars just because it's the PS5's probably its biggest heavy hitter.
Yeah, I mean, you can make that argument.
Yeah.
I mean, why do you think Psychonauts 2 is nominated for so many stuff?
oh,
That's
It's
fair.
because it's Xbox's heavy hitter.
oh, I
you
didn't
know.
think about that.
Like, if you think about it, this year, it's like, what new releases that Microsoft and Xbox and Sony have? It's like, for Sony's side, they had Ratchet and Clank, and the only other game they really had was like what, Returnal?
yeah. Which
Like, nothing
wasn't
else
even
came
that
out
big.
this year,
Yeah.
right?
No
I
one had a
can't.
PS5.
No other PS5 games came out this year, I'm pretty sure. Not that I can remember, besides Ratchet and Clank and Returnal. And for Xbox's case, they had Psychonauts 2, and that was about it. I guess Forza as well.
Yeah. So
So it's pretty easy to say put Psychonauts 2 and Ratchet and Clank up against each other, you know? Because they're, you know, fairly similar genres, you know, both are platformers. You know, Psychonauts 2 is more of an action 3D platformer, and then Ratchet and Clank is obviously a platformer slash third person shooter.
yeah.
Yeah.
But-
So it's a bit hard for me to pick out of these 4 because
Yeah.
they're all good and they're all deserving of this award.
I'll
For
give
me
it.
personally, I'd say probably Metroid Dread.
Yeah, same. Like, I can't decide if I like Village more because it's such a very different game. So-
Yeah. But it's also kind of hard for me to decide between Dread and like Ratchet and Clank because if you're just looking at gameplay and you're not looking at any of the story stuff from Ratchet and
Mhm.
just on its gameplay alone, I kind of liked the gameplay in Ratchet more.
Yeah.
But the exploration and level design in Dread was amazing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the shooting and movement mechanics in Ratchet were fantastic.
Yeah, it keeps going back and forth because these games are apples and oranges.
They are a bit apples and oranges, and they're all really great.
Yeah.
This is one of those awards where, as long as it doesn't go to Guardians of the Galaxy, I'll be fine. Whichever
Okay.
one wins, you know. That's very much my stance. I'm like, all of these games are amazing and they all deserve this award. I can't even have that big of a stake in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what do you feel about Lucas, about this award?
So, I wish I played Dread before these awards came out because I feel like
There's a demo now. Go down with that.
I know. But I've played Village and I love
Yeah.
Village.
Village is good.
Village is amazing. It's definitely worthy of this award. If it wins, I would not be upset at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You know,
a
it is more than good enough to be deserving of this award. You know.
Yeah. As a personal opinion, I'm gonna go for Village just because
Yeah.
Oh,
I
good.
love this game.
Like the only thing you could really make the argument of is that it shouldn't be in this category
Exactly.
because, like the argument I made earlier, where it's like, well, is
This
you know
is a
Resident Evil
broad-
really an action adventure game? You know,
Yeah.
much more of a horror shooter. You know, survival horror first person shooter.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was straight up just an FPS. But
Yeah.
Of course, like I said earlier, this is the very broad approach of action adventure. Of if it has combat and if it has level design, it's an action adventure.
But yeah,
I want to
You
see
know?
games that don't fit into this category. Just the best not
Yeah.
action adventure game.
Well, I
I'd
guess
probably
it wouldn't be action adventure if it's like a roguelike where the level design is constantly, changing every time you die.
adventure and action in those games.
Because you can't really make the argument that it's an adventure game if you die and then the world resets and changes completely.
I'll find an example of someone calling it an action adventure game, though, and no one can argue.
That's true. Anyway, we've talked on this a good amount. Want to move on to the next category?
yeah. Let's go. What do we got
Yeah.
next? We got the
Best
a best
action
action
game.
game. Here we go.
This is a game that has combat but not level design.
Yeah. So
Which
Back for
I think some
Blood.
of the choices are very dumb for this in that case.
Yeah, Back for Blood actually had decent level design. Deathloop had decent level design.
Yeah,
Far
let's just
Cry
go for
had. But
Black
yes,
Blood, Chivalry 2, Deathloop, Far Cry 6, and Returnal. Okay.
See, like Returnal makes sense for this if you're not counting it as like, action adventure. Because I wouldn't say Returnal is action adventure, but you could make the argument that it's more action. Obviously, it's a shooter.
Yeah.
It's a third-person shooter and not an action game.
I gotta
like-
say, but it says the
It's
best game in the action genre focused primarily on combat. I would not describe a Far Cry game as that at all. Like
Yeah.
Far Cry is about the exploration and maybe
Yeah,
some
Far Cry is more argument. You can make the argument more for action adventure than
Yeah.
just action.
Yeah.
And to go a bit further into what I was saying before, with like action adventure being like a game that has melee combat and like adventure elements. An action game, for me personally, how I would define the genre of like a pure action game. Other people might call it like stylus action, like Devil May Cry likes more or less.
Yeah.
Something along
Yes.
those lines. What I would describe it as is a game with like melee combat that prioritizes and focuses primarily on just its combat, and I would
Yeah.
classify that as like a pure action game. So your Devil May Cries, your Bayonettas, arguably your Muso games as well, your Dynasty Warriors and such. I would argue they were more or less in the same genre.
Yeah.
Your God of Wars,
Yeah.
where it's like level
Where do you
design
draw the
is
line
like
between
more or
that
less
and a hack and
linear,
slash
where you're
beat 'em
just
up?
fighting enemies,
Yeah. Now, where's the line drawn between that and a hack and slash or beat 'em up?
Those are 2D.
Okay.
That's the line. Pure action
Okay.
game, I'm just referring specifically to 3D games.
Okay.
So I wouldn't call like a 2D game a pure action game. I would only call like 3D. Like that, in order to like qualify to be a pure action game, you have to be 3D.
Okay.
Because if it's 2D, then it's like a side-scrolling beat 'em up or hack and slash.
Okay.
Because just by changing the dimensions, it fundamentally changes the design in an aspect and ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Right.
also adjusting the level design would also change it. I would say like the Yakuza games, primarily before 7,
Yeah.
would be like open world pure action games.
Yes. Yeah.
that's fair.
That's how I would define them,
Yeah, that's fair.
They're also mahjong, everything simulators.
Yeah. Oh, this is a great podcast. I get to get all my crazy genre rants out. And I get to explain people how video game genres work. I need to make like a full video of this, just me explaining how
4-hour
genres work.
Video.
It's just gonna start.
Yeah, I'll
okay,
have to get a
guys.
big whiteboard. I'll have to make like a graph.
You'll be taping images like. Oh yeah, that's
It'll be
great.
really good. I'm gonna redefine how video game genres are looked at for decades to come.
Just make sure FPSs are called Wolfendooms from now on.
Yeah, Wolfendooms. Yes.
I'll have FPS / Wolfendooms.
So we can still call them both. Good idea. No, that's what we call boomer shooters. So we can just call those Wolfendooms. Yeah. That's a perfect amount of.
Fundamentally, there is no difference between a FPS and a boomer shooter besides like the level design and graphics.
If you reload, it
But
can't
you
be-
could make the argument that it's a different genre just based off of the level design. I would
Yeah.
make the argument that level design has a big enough impact to it
It does.
change.
Yeah, I feel like it does. Yeah.
But to actually talk about which of these games should win best action,
Oh, it's anything. I have no clue. This is.
Deathloop is gonna win.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Which one?
Deathloop or Returnal?
Deathloop's gonna win because it's nominated for Game of the Year, and none of these other games are.
Oh
Although
yeah.
although Chivalry,
Unless
don't
Deathloop.
sleep on Chivalry 2.
Chivalry 2 is pretty good,
I've
Okay,
seen
but
a
but I don't think it's
lot.
winning.
What if Deathloop isn't Deathloop nominated for Game of the Year? What if it wins that and they just want to give it to something else for this?
No, remember last year how The Last of
Yes.
Us Part 2 was nominated for every award and won every award?
Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Deathloop's winning.
Yeah. Plus, if Deathloop doesn't win Game of the Year, they got to give it something, you know?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I can say that Deathloop probably deserves it more than at least Far Cry.
Oh, yeah, Far Cry 6 looked awful.
Far Cry 6 is poo poo.
Aside from Breaking Bad guy, it looked terrible.
Yeah. Like the actors' performances, I can say they did a great job, you know?
Hmm.
On a technical level, I'm not sure how great it is. I
The
haven't seen
accessibility
enough.
options are really cool.
Yeah, but it's Ubisoft,
Yeah.
so it's minus 80 points automatically.
It's poo poo. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to Deathloop.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
But let's move on. What
Are
do we
you
got?
sure you didn't like that's the one you think will win? Or would you rather Back for Blood win?
Nope. Deathloop.
No. Have you played Deathloop at all?
Nope.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Deserves that.
I can say Deathloop probably had some really great action too.
Deathloop deserves to have a bunch of stuff on the back of its cover being like Game Awards.
Oh my god, we're gonna get Deathloop Game of the Year edition.
Yes.
Oh,
Don't you
yeah.
want to see that?
God.
Anyways, let's move on.
Yeah.
We got the best VR/AR award.
Yes.
And the nominees are Hitman 3, I Expect You to Die 2, Lone Echo 2, Resident Evil 4, and Sniper Elite VR. So before we get into anything, I've actually seen, oddly enough, a lot of clips from Sniper Elite VR, and it actually looks really good.
I've heard mixed. It looks mixed from the reception I looked at.
Well, I haven't seen reviews. I've just seen like clips of it, and just
Yeah.
looks good to me. So I haven't actually looked into reviews of the game. So
Yeah, maybe it's like content dry because I mean a lot of VR games are they like just don't have a lot of content, but they'll charge you a ton. And it's like, ooh, VR game.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's still in its infancy.
Yeah,
overall.
I mean,
but
there also is Hitman 3 right there on the far left, though.
I forgot happened.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard of that, it's actually got decent reviews, so it can't be bad.
I wouldn't be too surprised if Sniper Elite wins, but I think Resident Evil 4 is gonna win.
And I think it probably deserves it. This is probably just like Resident Evil 7. This has been one of the biggest. Like, I look at this game, it's like, wow, this is like a full-on game. This isn't just like a demo.
It's
This
not.
is like-
It's not just a VR thing that they just threw together, and it's
Yeah,
actually.
it's Resident Evil 4 remade more or less in VR.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like in its entirety, it's actually really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I haven't even
Could you-
heard of these other two games, Lone Echo 2 and I Expect You to Die 2. I haven't even heard of those games.
I've heard of
I
the first
wonder if
game.
this, VR Resident Evil 4 was like the Resident Evil 4 remake we heard rumors and stuff about.
I believe they said it was separate
Okay.
because this was not. This was Resident Evil 4 VR was like announced like a year or two ago.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah. There is going to be a full-on remake as well. So
Anyway.
but yeah, Resident Evil 4 VR is impressive. Like you could do stuff like throw your knife, because why not? And like grab grenades off of like your chest and like toss them through windows and crap. Like it looks fun and actually use a VR in a cool way, and it's an actual game, and not just a demo. So yeah, I think that totally deserves to win, and it probably will.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Did you see the thing though, where if you had boobs, you couldn't reach far enough to grab the grenades in Resident Evil 4 VR? They had to, I believe, they had to patch that. They had to let you move where the grenades are on your chest.
That's like an amazing design oversight.
It is.
that like totally makes sense why that would happen.
Yeah, it's like because you gotta like reach inward to grab grenade. It's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just so funny. That no one But it reminds me of in Smash 4 when you would get perma-banned for playing Peach online because no one had apparently
She-
ever tried Peach online once.
Yeah, well, why that was it was specifically if you were in like for glory with with the no items on mode.
Mhm.
There's like a 1 in like 1,000 or something chance where Peach will, when pulling up a turnip, will pull up a bomb instead,
Yeah.
and that gets counted as an item.
Yeah, so you get banned forever.
Yeah.
But
Q&A is important.
you guys want to move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's move on.
All right, next trophy, or well, I guess I don't know if this is a award, but innovation and accessibility presented by Chevrolet. And the nominees for this are Far Cry 6, Forza Horizon 5, Mario Gardens of the Galaxy again, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and The Veil Shadow of the Crown. So this, I guess, award is this is what exactly they wrote on the website, recognizing software and or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience.
So yeah, I'm honestly gonna have to give this to Far
the
Cry
game
6.
with the best accessibility
options. Yeah.
options and stuff.
Honestly, yeah, Far Cry 6 I'm gonna have to give this to. Like some of the accessibility options I've seen are insane. Like just
for me personally, I would say probably Ratchet and Clank. That one had crazy tons of accessibility modes and stuff. Although I also want to give big props and mentions to Horizon.
Yes.
Because that one had a ton of accessibility options and stuff too.
See, I agree with you, but I think Rift Apart takes it just because of the rifts. There's no loading time in between.
Oh, well,
that's not accessibility.
But it's also the hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content.
Well, no. You're misinterpreting it. It's specifically for making it easier to be played by people, disabled people. Of any type of disability, of course.
Okay.
Whether
yes,
they be, like maybe missing a finger or two, or have color blindness, or are hard of hearing and need subtitles, stuff like that.
Right. Okay. So yeah,
that was a huge issue in games. I really wish more games would do subs better.
Yeah. Lots of games could definitely stand to have better subtitles.
I still agree with you, Black Chestnut, in regards to that. Then.
Yeah.
I was misinterpreting it, but I still agree.
But it's presented by Chevrolet, so Forza Horizon is going to win because it has cars.
To be fair, Forza does have a lot of great accessibility
but
options in it.
So it's presented by Chevrolet, but they have a Ford truck on the thumbnail.
Oh, so, they're automatically lose.
See, I don't know about that
one. Yeah.
Anyways,
Ratchet's gonna win the award, and then we're gonna see, in an ad, Ratchet driving a Chevrolet spaceship or something.
Oh, that's gonna happen. Yeah. Driving a flying Chevy.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great. Okay. Oh no, if Far Cry 6 wins, do you think we'll get the one I just call him Breaking Bad guy, I don't know his name. He'll drive on stage in a Chevy. That would be pretty cool.
Anyways, I'm gonna give it to Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's strong.
Yeah, I think it's either gonna get to Forza or Ratchet. Although I honestly know nothing about the Veil Shadow of the Crown.
I've heard the name, but I don't know.
I haven't heard of this game at all. So maybe that game has some crazy, amazing accessibility modes that are like awesome.
Yeah, I haven't heard.
But haven't heard of it. So if that one wins, I'm just gonna give it the benefit of the doubt that it had some amazing shit in there.
Yeah, and maybe it's worth checking out.
Oh, I'm looking up the game. Oh, this is actually really cool. The entire game is that you're blind in the game.
Oh, that's neat.
That's the entire gimmick of the game. It's like a fantasy game where you're blind. That's actually really interesting. Huh. I gotta keep my eye on that.
All right. Let's move on.
So, like, in theory, it could be played by a blind person because the screen is black the whole time?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the game's almost entirely, like, sound-based. That's really neat.
Wow. That's actually
That actually is really innovative
Yeah. Huh.
and unique. So you know what? If that game wins, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
well deserving.
Although I'd
Now,
still probably give it to Ratchet, because
Yeah.
that one had a ton of great accessibility options,
Yeah.
which I don't think I even personally used at all.
You know, I
Not a
appreciate,
single one.
I appreciate the games that now that you could just do stuff like turn off QuickTime events for accessibility because QuickTime events are usually annoying.
Most games don't even bother to put them in anymore,
Yeah,
thankfully.
yeah, they're less common these days, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just go to best community support then. Let's not even bother
Yeah.
listing out the games, honestly, because
Yeah.
there's only one winner here.
Final Fantasy
Yeah, Final Fantasy
14.
14.
All the
Okay.
other ones don't even need to be mentioned.
yes,
Let's just move on.
yes.
Best mobile game presented by Verizon.
Verizon.
Oh, best mobile game. Okay, okay. So we got Fantasian, Genshin Impact, the League of Legends Wild Rift, Marvel Future Revolution, and Pokemon Unite. Oh, get
What's
off
up
of
with
this list.
Yasuo's chin?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
He's got that.
what's up with his chin?
He's that.
I thought it was Garen.
You ever see that? You ever see that TikTok with a guy that just always like rubbing his chin and making like faces and stuff? That's Yasuo right now.
I thought he was Garen at first. Like that's not his face.
And why
Yeah,
is
that's
why
weird.
is,
That is not Yasuo's face.
why
And
is,
I haven't even seen Yasuo in years.
why is Blitz so disproportionate?
Oh, that's fine.
That's like this new design. They made him rounder.
I know,
But they
his
haven't
head-
updated his model in game, but I think they've like canonically
They make
changed Blitz's
Yasuo
design a little bit.
Oh, that's weird.
No.
Anyways,
It's not that different. They just made him a bit more round.
I guess Genshin Impact looked like the most video game.
I don't know what how do you Fantasia
Fantasian.
Asian?
Yes.
I don't know what that game is.
Yeah,
It
me
kind
neither
of
do
looks
I.
near-ish.
Yeah.
It looks interesting, but it also just looks like a generic anime game.
I don't know what it
on
is.
the App Store. Because
No, the
But you know what?
music
None of these
composed by
games deserve any
Masuda.
awards because mobile games aren't real video games.
yeah. Anyways, yep. Let's move on. Let's move on. We're not
Wait,
even
wait.
going
I
for
was
this
gonna
one.
say that Fantasia's music is by Nobuo Uematsu.
See, I knew it from somewhere.
Okay, so it has him's music, so it's
Oh, wasn't that game with like the like where they like is this the game I'm thinking of where it's like they made like they actually like physically made the environments and then took images and stuff of them?
oh crap, I think it is.
Oh,
I'm looking at it. Oh, okay. Okay, that's interesting then.
Yeah, I remember that game being really, really cool, but then stuck on mobile for some fucking reason.
it's the biggest platform.
Okay, that game deserves the award, but it's probably gonna go to Wild Rift.
No, I honestly I'd
Or
say Genshin
Unite
Impact.
might go to
Genshin
Pokemon
Impact's
Unite,
huge.
but Fantasia should win.
Yeah. All right, best indie. The
Okay. Yes.
yes.
So the nominations for Best Indie, the most important award of the show,
Yes.
12 Minutes, Death's
Oh.
Door,
yes.
Inscription, again, we
Kina.
talked about this before, Kina Bridge of Spirits, and Loop Hero.
Okay.
And I can say one of these games does not deserve to be on here, and the other four do.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Can you pick
Yeah.
out which one does not deserve to be here?
Should we leave it to the audience to have fun and solve
Okay,
the
no.
mystery?
Let's give him a second. Let's give him a second. We're
Yeah.
gonna make this like an actual
Comments
YouTube-
down below. And make a comment telling us what game you think shouldn't be here. And we'll tell you if you're right in about 1 minute, and then you can come back to your comment and comment again if you were telling us if you were right or not.
Wait. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, say it.
Okay, the game that shouldn't be here is 12 minutes.
All right. Wait a minute. Let him get up. Oh wait,
Yeah.
they can't. They
They
can't.
could pause
They
the
can't.
video if they needed the comment.
No, the joke was, wait a minute, let him get up. Oh wait, they can't. They're handcuffed.
What?
Look at 12 minutes. They're handcuffed on the floor.
That's
they can't get up.
true.
Oh. Okay. Well, okay. I don't know anything about this game other than it looks like a ripoff of the game Hello Hell O. So
Yeah.
I'm knocking points on that alone.
Yeah. There's a lot of better indies that came out this year that could have been nominated
Yeah.
over 12 minutes, and 12 minutes is kind of like
Yeah, like
Not good.
no
All things
Chicory, no
considered.
Cruelty Squad. There were so
Yeah.
many cool indies this year.
No Eastward, no Axiom Verge 2, no Ender Lilies.
Oh, what the heck?
Like they couldn't
You
put
know.
any of those other ones besides 12 minutes on here.
12 minutes looks
And
artsy.
like
So they
those
had
are just the ones that I like have in my Steam library. There's so
yeah,
many other great indie games that came out this year.
yeah.
At the same time, unlike most years, I feel like there wasn't like a definitive like this is the indie game that came out this year, you know? It doesn't feel as strong like that. Like Inscription is kind of that. Although I
Uh,
guess if you want to say, Deltarune Chapter 2, if you want to count that, that game also should have been nominated for Best RPG. Although it's understandable why it isn't, because it's still technically a demo.
yeah,
So that one, at least,
that's fair.
it gets to get away with not being nominated,
No
because even
awards for
though it was
Deltarune.
pretty much the best game that came out this year, it is literally just a demo.
Yeah, no awards until the final chapter's out, and we get
Yeah.
Deltarune Game of the Year. It can't be Game of the Year because it came out across multiple years.
Game of the Century Edition.
Okay.
Speaking of like long game titles, like last week in like the Golden Joystick Awards took place, and Dark Souls won Ultimate Game of All Time award.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
I can't argue that really.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah,
It
that's
deserved
fair.
it.
That's fair.
Definitely Ultimate Game of All Time. I can definitely say that with confidence. Dark Souls is the ultimate game of all time.
Yeah, and if you're bad at it, you just need to get good.
Yeah. Soon to pass the torch on to Elden Ring.
Oh, for a fact.
Yeah.
There's not even a doubt about it.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 1 still has a novelty to it that I don't know could ever be topped, but
Dark Souls 1 is really amazing, despite its flaws.
yeah.
But to talk about the best indie nominations for realsies, obviously not 12 minutes. Big red X over that.
I haven't played any of these, at least extensively, so.
Okay,
Are you
so
sure?
I've played
12 minutes doesn't deserve it?
definitely. So out of these four, I'm interested in three of them. Loop Hero, I'm familiar with, but I don't really want to play. I've talked about this before. Just not really my style of game. I don't think it's bad or nothing. But I'm just not really a fan
like a
of like
roguelike,
autoplay style games. Not my genre. Still a good game though. If you like that stuff, it's a great entry in its genre. But for me personally, I'm not a fan of the genre at all. Kenya Bridge of Spirits, cool game. Death's Door, I've played. It's a pretty great game. All things considered, it's a good top-down action adventure game. But honestly, even though I haven't played it yet, I kind of think Inscription is the best game here.
The way you were describing it earlier, that's what I was leaning to. I was just waiting for you to get done.
Yeah. I really enjoyed Death's Door. And if, I'd be cool with that winning. And I think it was a great game. Inscription is kind of like on a bit of a next level. The way it tackles the game as it progresses and the meta elements to it, and the game itself, the card game itself being so solid as it is. I already talked about it earlier, so I'm not going to repeat myself, but yeah, I kind of feel Inscription.
What they need to do for Best Indie is have a guy dressed up as the main character Cruelty Squad to come up and kill Jeff Keighley and steal the award. That's what happen.
And then eat Jeff Keighley's Doritos and liver?
Yes, exactly. Hey, Lucas, do you know what the Cruelty Squad protagonist looks like?
I do not.
I'll leave it into your imagination for a minute until I find a good photo.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm imagining a big buff black dude.
Oh, you're running the mark.
Okay.
You're running the mark. Here he is.
Okay, hold on. Where'd you send it? Oh.
I just sent you.
Oh.
He's a big rough red dude.
He's a big buff red dude with neon green glasses. And no clothes.
Of course. That's why it deserves Best Indie.
Yeah. What game is
He's
this
a
again?
random enemy from Super Hot.
Oh,
Cruelty Squad.
Yes.
The
There we
game
go.
is the game is
Cruelty
Cruelty Squad.
There it is.
Yeah.
You know what? We should put a 6th little tab here for Cruelty Squad, and that's my vote. All right,
It
next
was
one,
a
guys.
pretty great game.
Next
It
one,
is.
All
guys.
things considered.
But,
Want to move on for Best Indie? I'm
yeah.
feeling Inscription, but like I said, every game on here was amazing for the most part, except for 12 minutes. You know,
Yeah.
all these games do deserve to be nominated, although, except for 12 minutes, other games should have been nominated over it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But at least we have 12 minutes there, so I can say that something else should have been nominated.
Well,
I don't have to like devalue an actually good game.
yeah, no, that could feel bad.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next category.
Which is
Best
the best.
ongoing.
Yep, go ahead.
Oh,
Best
I gotta
ongoing game.
So we
read
got,
them all.
for the nominees, we got Apex Legends, Final Fantasy Online. Final Fantasy, which one was that again?
14.
14, okay.
I wanted to try to figure it out.
Fortnite, Genshin Impact, Call of Duty Warzone. All right. This
That's
is
a
another
crappy
this is
chair.
another one that there's one on the list that doesn't deserve to be here.
Which one's that?
We'll give you guys a second.
No, honestly though, I feel like
You
Nope,
look it
for
up,
the
Taylor.
most part, they
there's-
kind of deserve to be here.
there's-
Although I can definitely say we can all kick Call of Duty to the curb.
And
Yeah.
Fortnite, maybe?
No, I was gonna give Fortnite my award.
No! Don't do that. Don't
this year.
Don't feed that fire.
No,
They added
14,
story, though.
14, come on.
Yes, if you're not gonna
Endwalkers isn't out yet. They don't.
Okay, but they had other updates this year.
Okay, but
if you're not gonna pick Genshin or Apex, at least pick Final Fantasy. Do not touch Fortnite or Warzone.
I'm giving it to
please.
Fortnite compared to Naruto.
No.
Or they did add
You can't have
Naruto.
You're feeding the fire.
Okay, yeah, but when they add Goku, you're gonna come right back to Fortnite.
See, I've been watching Naruto recently, so if anything, I would be more inclined right now because I haven't watched any Dragon Ball anything in months.
That's because they haven't released like new Dragon Ball stuff in months.
They've been releasing Dragon Ball Super episodes.
Okay,
They have?
they added El
I thought
Chap.
I thought it ended.
No.
Yeah, they haven't updated yet. Okay.
Okay. Fortnite added El Chapulín Colorado, which is from a Mexican 1970s TV show.
Okay.
So Fortnite has the greatest characters of all time.
They also added Predator, which is so out of place because he's just
Oh, he's
underdog.
not.
Predator's awesome.
Everything's in Fortnite. Nothing's out of place.
Also,
No.
Predator's already in everything. Predator has crossovers all the time, and it's not that weird.
Yeah.
Well,
Predator is in like
great
fucking
fighting
League of
games.
Legends. There's a Rengar skin that just turns him into Predator.
See, well, that makes sense. He can just pop out of nowhere and kill people. Rip
Yeah,
their
you can do that
spines.
in Fortnite.
No, you gotta shoot them in the
Gosh.
face with a shotgun. You see a Predator shooting him in the face with shotguns?
I never
No.
use guns.
Predator would totally use a shotgun if he had one.
Yeah.
No, he
Yes.
has a giant blade on his arm and he has lasers.
The Predator
No,
would
it's
use
a shotgun.
anything
No,
he
no,
wants.
no. Those are aiming lasers. It's a shoulder gun. His shoulder just shoots. Is just a gun.
Okay, you know what?
Anyway,
Well, your
let's just
personal
move on.
Fortnite
opinion.
deserves it.
I'm
Let's move
voting
on.
for Apex, and Black
What?
Chestnut's going for Final Fantasy.
I'm surprised League of Legends wasn't nominated for this though.
It's probably because of the toxic community.
No, that
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
Except for 14. 14's community is really nice. But,
Yeah. I'm thinking because like they had a lot of updates this year. Although I guess nobody really liked the Ruined King event. They kind of fucked that up kind of hard.
Yeah, royally. But next award, Games for Impact,
Yes.
and we got 5 nominees are Before Your Eyes, Boyfriend Dungeon. What the heck?
oh, this game
We talked about this before. You remember this one.
It
And
has
I
a
had-
twist, though. I know why
had
it's on
this-
here.
I had the same reaction the first time we did it. I remember this.
I know why it's on here now because it actually has a twist. But
But-
keep going
Oh
for
my
it.
god, there's a twist.
Shikori,
Yeah, it's
a colorful tale. Which Ricola, didn't you play a game similar to this or this game?
I played this game. It's maybe my nomination for Game of the Year.
Okay.
It's really, really, really good.
And then we got Life is Strange, True Colors, and No Longer Home.
Oh, no longer.
So this award is a little weird in some sense in that it's basically which game was the most woke this year.
Yeah.
You know,
Which one left the most like emotional like thing?
see, it's kind of weird because it's like which one had the most social impact, and it's kind of odd how they define it, and it's a little kind of
Vague.
weird to like scale.
Yeah.
Like it's a little bit of a weird award. Not that I'm saying that they shouldn't have this award. I think it's a good idea for award. I'm just not so sure how they handle it.
Yeah.
You know, I honestly do think this is a great idea for an award.
Yeah. Encourage
But
people to do that. Yeah, of course.
I'm just like, but how is that really done through a game? Is the real question.
I mean, if a game tells a story though,
yeah,
and
so
I
that can
feel
be
like
many
feel-
games.
I feel like that Chicoria Colorful Tale is the one that really nails that one. Besides Life is Strange True Colors,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
more. I feel like what they're
Because
trying to- go ahead.
it's supposed to go to a thought-provoking game with a pro social meaning or message. That's literally what it
Yeah.
was on the website.
Yeah,
It's a little
broad, but like because every game
Yeah.
kind of leaves a message.
it's
But
it's a bit of an abstract award to me,
Yeah.
where I kind of look at it and get a little confused.
Yeah. Oh, do you want the twist for Boyfriend Dungeon? Should I spoil that?
Just don't be confused then.
Okay, about to spoil the twist for Boyfriend Dungeon. Okay, it turns out one of the early boyfriends in there is actually like a stalker, and the game turns out to be like dealing with stalking and stuff.
That's weird.
It's a twist. But okay, yeah. Issue is that they keep that a twist, and a lot of people played it and got really uncomfortable from it, so I know there's a lot of backlash because of that, so.
Granted. Yeah, that's kind of valid.
I'm gonna have to give it to Chikori because I wish just got nominated for more stuff. By the way, I just gotta say, whoever's playing in this screenshot it's terrible at panning. Like that's just.
I know it looks so tacky.
I mean, those are the 4 colors.
Oh.
Each level you're in, you only get 4 colors.
Oh my goodness,
What happened?
that's gonna bother me. You see all the empty white spaces like on the pebbles and stuff. Oh my god.
Oh, don't
No,
worry, guys.
the point of the game is to paint it over.
Yeah, the entire game's black and white.
I know,
You have-
but he painted and then left spots.
Oh, yeah.
See,
Don't worry. This game is you'll spend like an hour in one room because you just want it to be perfect, and that's why it's great.
See, like I'm already thinking if I get those 4 colors, obviously the green is going on the trees and the grass, and I'm making fruity pebble stone patches. Purple, red,
I
and
just
blue.
like to make purple like leaves with like red bark eventually, like that. Like I thought that ended up looking cool. So when I played it,
Well, there you go. We start with that first idea, and just add on to it.
Yeah.
That's what the game's about.
See, this should just be an MMO.
You just draw over everyone else's stuff. That'd actually be great.
Yeah. Anyways,
Okay.
I think I'll give it to Shikori as well.
Yeah. Best game for social impact, I'm gonna have to give it to Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yes, I agree.
Yep.
Metal Gear.
That one's definitely the one that's the most relevant for the current day.
Oh, I can't wait for this next one. I can't wait for this next award.
It has the most social impact on current day. That's how we're judging these, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
exactly.
So yeah, my goes to Metal Gear Solid 2.
I agree.
Because if we can put Cyberpunk as a nominee, then why can't I nominate Metal Gear Solid 2?
Hey, Keely's big friends with Kojima. That could happen.
Yeah. Yeah, where's Death Stranding on this list? It got re-released this year, didn't it?
Definitive edition.
See, it's totally like up there. It's totally
Sure.
there.
It's rigged. It's rigged. This whole thing is rigged.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Although honestly, like the 2 games on the sides of the Before Your Eyes and No Longer Home, I know nothing about them.
Yeah.
I've never heard of them
It's
before.
like a cat with like opening its third eye in Before Your Eyes. So I'm curious about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, like I said, this feels like a very abstract award, and it might just be because this year specifically didn't really have any like games with like a very specific like message behind it. Like
Yeah.
in previous years, you had something like Celeste, which was very much about anxiety and stuff.
Shikori's kind of like is kind of like that. It's just that like also That's not necessarily the first thing I think about when I think about
Yeah.
the game.
Well, isn't that you said before? It's like about
Yeah, it's like
imposter
imposter syndrome, like dealing with like insecurity, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I'd definitely say Chikori gets my vote. It should definitely win.
Awesome.
Because honestly, like I'm not even really sure what real message Life is Strange is trying to say. I guess it's saying a lot of things.
It's that's the one where you're an empath in the new one, right?
Yes. You look at people and you think how they're feeling.
I think I could just look at them.
Yeah. No, you look at someone and you assume you know how they feel based on how you're looking at them. That's what being an empath in real life it means. It's you look at someone and you assume you know how they feel.
Yeah. Who's typing? Who's typing?
You had
No
to type
one.
something real fast. I'm sorry.
Nope. You're canceled.
You're banned.
You're canceled.
Oh.
Which one's
All
worse, canceled or banned?
It depends on the context.
Okay. All right. Anyways, next award.
Yeah,
We
let's
got
move
Best
on.
performance. So this one actually is an award that goes to the individual for the best voice acting, motion, and overall performance capture.
Okay.
So we got our 5 nominees. From Life is Strange: True Colors, we got Erica Mori,
Mhm.
and then from
And
Far
she
Cry
played the main character, right?
yes,
Yeah, okay.
which honestly they made her look virtually the same person, which was pretty cool. So that
mocap.
Yeah.
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 They use facial rigs, and then they base the face rigs off, the actor's face.
and then we got the Far Cry 6. Obviously, he's gonna be on this. Giancarlo Esposito as Anton Castillo.
Yeah, Breaking Bad guy. That's his name.
Yeah.
And
He
honestly,
did
yeah,
do a pretty great performance, all things considered. He definitely was honestly the best part of the game. He's also in like all their marketing because they knew that he was the best part of the game.
They finally made another interesting Far Cry villain. It only took them like a decade.
he
Yeah.
makes he makes movies that are like that. So I felt like that was a perfect role for him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, if you got like a really good actor, he's gonna give you a really good performance,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Next one,
Like the-
Deathloop. The Jason Kelly as Colt Vaughn.
Who is the protagonist of the game.
Yep. And then Maggie Robinson as Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village.
You pronounced Lady Dimitrescu pretty well, or however it's pronounced. That's like the hardest thing to pronounce. I'm
Lady
impressed.
Dimitrescu.
You pronounced it very well. You
I'm
got
impressed by Lucas's pronunciations just in general.
You got the trill down.
Yeah.
And then the last
He's much
one.
better at it than
this
me.
this one's gonna fuck me up. The last one is Okioma Akagaha as Juliana Blake.
There's no K in the first name.
What?
That's Z. I think you misread the Z as a K.
Ozuyama Akagaha as Juliana Blake.
Akaga.
I'm sorry, I butchered her name. I feel so bad now. But from Deathloop.
Yeah.
I
can definitely say for the most part they all did a fairly good job.
They did a really good job. This is a tough list. It's definitely one of the harder nominee picks.
Yeah.
Do I want to get Lady Dimitrescu or Breaking Bad guy though? That is the question.
Yeah,
Lady Dimitrescu, one time she snuck up on me and her voice scared the shit out of me in Resident Evil Village.
Ricola.
Yeah.
Ricola. You ready? It's very simple. Dimitrescu.
Trescu.
Dimitrescu. Just say Trescu. Try not to.
Dimitrescu.
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 Okay.
I'm gonna call her Vampire Lady, like everyone else.
Okay.
Big vampire lady.
Anyways, I think it definitely goes to the Far Cry 6.
He did have that funny video where he's like, "I lied," and then he has like the scary face. That was part of the game's marketing, so deserves it.
Yeah, that's my vote. I'm going for
I
Giancarlo
do want to
Esposito.
give props to Jason Kelly as Colt because he found new ways to say fuck. He kept finding new ways to say fuck.
Kept
You know.
finding new ways. Good.
Overall, pretty good performance. Personally, probably gonna have to say Lady Dimitrescu, big vampire lady.
Why is it so hard for you guys? It's not even a hard name.
I can't speak
You're
French
just
or whatever.
no. It's not that it's hard for us. You're just good at it.
Fine.
You know, like we're the average level. You're just above average.
Yeah.
I mean, I am Spanish, so, and this is not. It's actually not really.
You're like
French.
yeah.
They're romance. They're both romance languages.
Yeah. French is the romance language, though. So
Is it?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure universally it is the number one, technically number one romance language.
Well, it's definitely not German.
Yeah.
That's not a romance.
Or Russian. It's definitely not German though. 99999.
Not what romance language means, but yeah, I agree.
Okay.
It just means they're derived
Yeah.
from Rome. But yeah.
Yeah.
Best audio design. Let's move.
No, wait. Before we move on from best performances, I want to talk about the category as a whole a little bit.
It's poop.
No, it's a little bit of an odd category, I feel like. Just because I don't think it, like... I feel like it should be here, but at the same time, I also feel like it's a little bit of an odd category for a video game award show, you know? Like, it doesn't really feel like it pertains to games that much. This is something that's much more important in movies, you know, than games as a whole.
I
Obviously, there's still an importance of it, and I do think that should be rewarded and talked about. At the same time, the fact that there isn't, like, an award for, like, animation just in general, like character animation.
Oh, for a fact.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
You know,
I get
it's
what you're
a
saying.
bit weird to have an award for, you know, best, you know, voice acting, but not to have an award for best animation, you know?
I guess animation would arguably be under art style already. And
No,
like,
it's totally different.
It's a completely different thing.
well, with performance, there's a thing where you could award it to one specific person, unlike animation, where
This is much less of a problem with the best performance award and more so a problem with there should be an animation award.
yeah,
Like, why is there this award but no this other award? Really?
yeah.
You know, like, I don't have any problems with best performance. I think that should be an award. The fact that there's no best animation award bugs me.
And quite frankly,
And they should add one.
Quite frankly, all things considered, this is probably the best 5 nominee lineup that we've seen, in my opinion. So far.
You know, it might be.
Yeah, this is a pretty solid year.
Yeah, because like all 5 of these voice actors had solid roles. They all nailed their parts. A few of them, mainly for me.
They all gave really strong performances.
For me, Giancarlo Esposito stood out to me. That's all. They all had amazing performances. They did exactly what they needed to do in the game. I just felt like Giancarlo Esposito, in my opinion, he went above and beyond with his role. Because like I said
he is
before,
a really great actor.
Not even that. Like I said before, he's played in roles like this where he's been villains in literally the same exact situation. He's done this role before. And
Yeah, that's
it's
right.
Gonna be in a game.
I mean, it makes sense why they would pick him.
Like, I haven't seen Breaking Bad, but as far as I know, doesn't he play like the same character?
Pretty much. He plays
Yeah.
the exact same person.
But yeah, anyway, that was about all I wanted to say on this. You know, I was like, where is the animation award? Ugh. So let's move on now.
All right. Best audio design.
Yes.
Okay.
Not to be confused with best soundtrack, which is a different award. Which once
I
again,
appreciate that.
they went in with the trouble to make a best soundtrack and a best audio design award, which they should.
But
It's
they didn't
very
do
important that they have both of these, but then they have a best performances and not a best animation award.
Something's fishy.
Where is it?
Coincidence? I think not.
I'm just saying they should add one.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like character animation is a really important part of games and game design as a whole. You know, to look into the importance of character animation, just compare Dark Souls 1 to Dark Souls 2.
They both
You
look
know?
pretty janky. I'm not even. I can't.
No, Dark Souls 1 character animation is substantially
They
higher
look
quality than
so
2.
goofy even in the first game.
It's not. It really isn't.
They look.
There's a few silly attacks, but for the most part, it's really really solid. It does its job really well. You can look at 2 and everything looks weird. Everything's
Yeah.
floaty, the weight's not right. It's all sorts of fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a bit of the best audio design.
But yeah, let's talk about audio design. Just there should be a best animation category,
Sure.
best character animation.
His foot
Sure.
stance is weak.
They should add it next time.
He can't walk. Can't see straight.
Okay, so best audio design, there's Deathloop, Horizon, Forza Horizon 5, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, and Returnal.
I gotta give it to Resident Evil Village. I just remember when I first played the demo and you're walking through like the small wheat field and like you hear like the wheat moving and like the snow wind blowing and like you hear like a light growl of like a werewolf zombie near you. Yeah, the sound design in that game is straight up perfect. It's like
Yeah,
they really.
It's
if you
really
have,
good.
If you have headphones on, you feel like you're in that game.
yeah, it feels like like all like stuff like like wind like slightly like oh, is that just like some weird diegetic sound or is there a monster right near me? Like it's so good.
Although for me, I have to talk about Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart sound design, because that sound design was really great.
Yeah.
Like that one, the sound effects are really, really strong. Overall, it was very responsive. How they utilize the sound design in combat, it was very easy to tell what was going on based off of audio cues. And, for me, in a fast-paced, platform shooter like Ratchet, that's really important to be able to hear what the fuck's going on,
Yeah.
To hear your gun jamming, to the sound effect when you get hit and knocked back. Overall, plus that doesn't even go into like the 3D audio effects they did with specifically like the Sony PlayStation 5 3D audio headset. I didn't have that, so I didn't get to experience it, but I can only assume that it was really great. And then I also kind of feel like I have to give props to Forza Horizon, because I'm assuming that had great audio design as well.
Yep.
I like when the cars go vroom vroom.
Yeah, they added, I think, so basically in Forza Horizon 4, they had a bunch of classes of cars, and each of those classes, like they would have the universal sound for that class and what that engine would sound like. In Forza Horizon 5, they went every single car, they went and recorded audio clips from every single modded car that they would add into the game. Every single turbo type, every single muffler type, every single car with that muffler, because you can have the same muffler on 2 different cars, and one's an American, and one's a muscle car, one's a straight up supercar, and they could be totally different sounds.
That's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, they changed up the difference in sounds just simply by that. Not to mention tire treads, the different types of tires.
Yeah, and I imagine that the terrain you're driving on also would affect the audio of the tires and stuff.
When you crash into a giant boulder going 180 miles an hour,
you hear the metal crinkle.
Like honestly, I think Forza will probably win this award.
Yeah. I wouldn't be mad about that.
I wouldn't be bummed. I don't think it's that significant compared to Ratchet and Clank or Resident Evil Village. But if they do, I
don't know. I feel like to me it sounds like it's like
cars,
better
though.
in the
It's
audio design aspect than Ratchet and Resident Evil. Obviously, there's more challenges, arguably, for Ratchet and Resident Evil because with Forza, they can just record the audio off of the cars themselves.
They have samples everywhere on the streets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so you got to get more creative when you're making the sound effects for Ratchet and Resident Evil.
It's like making sound effects for a movie. You got to do everything. You got to use a piece of grass and rub it up against a freaking metal pole or something to get this distinct sound.
Oh, my favorite weird sound effect thing is for the Mancubus in Doom 2016. They
yes.
they covered like ham in like honey and like shoved it down like a trombone or something, and that's the sound Macubus makes in Doom. Which I think that's the best sound effect of all time.
I've literally just watched a 20-second clip of that yesterday on YouTube. It's like or on TikTok. On TikTok, I was like, "This is how this was created," and I was like, "Oh, what?" And then I was like, "This is Doom." It's like, oh. But yeah, you know, I want to give it to Forza, but like, I just wouldn't feel right not giving it to Village or Rift Apart, just because like, yes, you're right. It may be better audio quality, but it wasn't. It couldn't have been that hard. Like, they had so much money, they could have.
I don't know. It's still like, to me, it seems like how they utilized it.
Oh yes, they went above and
Imagine would
beyond.
probably be a bit better, arguably. But like I said, both Resident Evil Village and Rift Apart had really great audio design. And so did Forza. So any of those three, honestly. And I don't even know how, well Deathloop and Returnal handled their audio design at all.
They gotta be decent
I
as
just
well.
didn't see enough of it, really.
Yeah.
But I imagine they did fairly good.
I can
at least.
imagine Returnal actually having a really good audio, like in-game audio, just based on the style of the game.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Let's
You know what?
move
Screw it.
on.
I'll give it to Forza. Why not? Who are you giving it to, Ricola?
Oh, I'm still giving it to Village just because of that like one moment in the field with the werewolf zombies.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'll give it to Rift Apart because I actually played it. But I
Okay.
wouldn't be upset or surprised if Forza won because it also did insanely good audio design wise.
All right,
Okay,
let's move
go
on.
move on to
We got 5
best
more left.
score and music.
5 more awards left. Best score in music. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are honestly all sorts of fucked up in a lot of fucked ways. But let's go over the nominees. So we got The Artful Escape,
Mhm.
Cyberpunk 2077,
Fucking-
Deathloop,
No, wait. You just say fucking Deathloop.
fucking Deathloop, Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy, and Near Replicant version
Hey, say the full title.
0.1.222474871139.
See, it's gonna be near. It's gonna be near.
It's near by far.
Nier definitely has like the best soundtrack, arguably, out of the other
Here's the
ones.
thing, though. It's a remake.
The only other game that's honestly, to me personally, should even be on this list is The Artful Escape.
Yeah. I think Deathloop's soundtrack goes pretty hard, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm sure
Nowhere-
Deathloop is good enough that you could
could-
make the argument for it being here, but Cyberpunk, once again, did not come out this year. 2, used a lot of licensed tracks, and the ones that weren't licensed were like songs like the Pain song. Have you guys heard the Pain song?
I have not heard the pain.
Well, to be fair, Black Chestnut, in the thing for the like description of this award, it is safe for original song and or licensed soundtracks.
Oh yeah, they're covering
Yes,
their ass.
but let us be clear here. No fucking video game music award should ever go to fucking licensed soundtrack.
Yeah.
Hey, does you remember Metal Gear Solid 5 won it because of that?
See, this is why Guitar Hero will never win a best score in
Still
music.
shouldn't win over games that had original soundtracks that were fucking great.
All right. Well, I'll be upset if Nier doesn't win this, even if it is technically a remake that just reuses music.
I'd be cool with The Artful Escape winning.
Although, what is your best soundtrack for the year?
Bravely Default 2, easy.
Okay. I'm going Shikori because it has the same composer as Celeste, so that should tell you if it's quality.
God damn, Bravely Default 2 soundtrack was so fucking good.
I haven't played that game at all, and
The
Black
fucking
Chestnut,
final boss theme was like a medley of every boss theme in the game up until that point, including the final boss. It was so good.
yeah, Black Chestnut sent me a couple of the songs from that game, and from not playing it, it already sounds freaking cool.
Oh my god. Plus, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy should not be on this list.
Yeah, like come on.
Yeah, that's all licensed music.
Yes,
Yeah.
like
Nope.
no big fat X, get off the screen. Get off
Yeah.
the screen. You're done. You're
no
done.
Bravely Default 2 nomination is honestly kind of fucked up.
I don't
Like,
think
they had-
anyone played Bravely Default 2 for some reason.
There could have been two
I-
different
I
things.
know
up
there were. I was talking to him. when it came out, and then they stopped talking to me.
But yeah, I'll give it to Nier. Why not?
Nier's
Yeah.
soundtrack goes so
I'd
hard.
say either Nier or The Artful Escape.
Yeah. All right. Best art direction.
Okay.
Go, go, go! All right, we got
Okay.
The Artful Escape, Deathloop again, fucking Deathloop, Kena Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Man, we're seeing a lot of duplicates.
Yeah. And this is one of the awards that I can say that every game on this list, for the most part, deserves it.
Yeah.
The one I'd say probably deserves it the least is arguably Kenna, but even that, still had good art direction.
Yeah.
I just felt it was a little more generic in comparison to the other ones on this list.
Yeah, like you could
Like specifically compared to the ones on this list, because every other game on this list is like a very distinct, unique art style.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
even like Deathloop, which you could argue, which is mostly realism, still has like a really like striking use of like orange and kind of.
I
Like,
wouldn't call it realism.
It
I'd
reminds-
say it's similar to this Dishonored style that
yeah,
the Arcane studio is known for.
but the like environments and stuff kind of like affect their use of orange and kind of like 60s 70s like flair of the architecture is really cool. So
it
yeah,
reminds me of the Happy Few game. I don't know if you.
Oh,
guys
yeah.
ever played it. It reminds me of that.
Yeah, a little bit. There's definitely I could definitely
not
see
as
some
our
elements of that in there.
as that game though.
Yeah, but definitely,
Yeah.
definitely the color scheme. Very, very
Honestly,
cool.
Deathloop is kind of just that game, but done correctly
Yes, yes. The Happy
in a lot
Few
of ways.
was a little like bad.
Booty cheeks.
Yeah.
Did it get better after they made it playable?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure it got better.
No, it got better. It just
water every 3 seconds or die.
yeah, but yeah, the beginning of the game, like the first like 3 to 4 hours, just sucked.
Yeah, the survival elements were insane. But
Yeah.
Anyway,
anyway,
not talking about that. Let's talk about the actual
that
games.
game's not nominated for anything.
For the
Artful
most
Escape,
part-
the Artful Escape. Come on, it's
Artful
art in its
Escape's
name.
really good.
It's in
It's
its
in its-
name. It deserved this award.
It does
I'm-
have really great art direction. Psychonauts 2 also has really good art direction.
I'm between Deathloop and Psychonauts 2, but I haven't played either of them, so
I could see the Artful Escape snagging this one because it has really, like, good art, strong
Yeah.
art direction.
I'm gonna give it to them.
But I could also see Psychonauts 2 winning because that also has amazing art direction and was also nominated for Game of the Year.
okay.
All right. Let's move on to the next award.
Yeah.
Mass
Next
narrative.
Best narrative.
And oh my goodness,
The game that had the best plot.
fucking
I haven't played any of these
Deathloop.
games. I can only guess the plot.
fucking Deathloop again.
Right.
And then we got It
Oh.
Takes Two, showing its face back up again. It was on for a little bit. Life is Strange, True Colors. Oh my goodness, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. You're not getting an award. You're not getting an award.
They better not. I'll be pissed if they win anything.
Psychonauts 2.
Unironically, I will be pissed if Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy wins anything.
I haven't played
Um,
any of these games. I'm gonna assume I'd like Death Note's plot. Deathloop. I
The,
call it Death.
the game I'm most familiar with its plot would be It Takes Two, and that's pretty good. Ish. At least 12 minutes wasn't on here.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of Psychonauts 1's plot, so I don't see myself liking
I
Psychonauts 2 a ton.
Don't know how to plot goes, honestly. I'm not familiar with it at all because I've kind of been trying to avoid it because I do intend to play Psychonauts 1 at some point and then 2.
I like
eventually.
Psychonauts. I stopped playing around when the Milkman shows up because his world's terrible.
So you never made it to the meat circus.
I
Because
can't
that's a
remember.
late game level, right?
I think you might explore like slightly like early game. I genuinely can't remember. I
Okay.
haven't played Psychonauts in so long.
I just remember everybody saying the meat circus is like the shittiest level in that game, and it's like really obnoxious. A Deathloop story? Yeah.
It looks like the one I'd see myself enjoying the most out of all of these.
It's probably decent, at least, I can say.
Yeah.
Notice how Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart wasn't nominated for this.
Yeah, that game's strengths in its characters.
Game's strengths is in its gameplay.
I know. Yeah, I agree.
But yeah.
At least that plot's strength
Yeah.
is.
The old Ratchet and Clank games were the whole package, Great narrative, amazing gameplay, and great visuals.
Good enough
And great
visuals.
soundtrack. It had everything.
Good enough visuals.
No, Ratchet and Clank, like the PS2 games, when they came out, they were like the best looking PS2 games. Especially
Yeah.
Ratchet 1. Like, the amount of shit it was able to pull off on the hardware is insane.
Yeah.
Like the Metropolis level, literally would not fucking be is in theory impossible to do on the PS2. Like
Hmm.
the amount it pushed the hardware was insane. And it wasn't even that late in the hardware's life. It was fairly early on still. It was only early mid PS2. But yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say maybe It Takes Two.
I'll say It Takes Two. Why not?
Yeah.
Deathloop.
I can't really think of any games that I played this year that I thought had a really, really great story. I really enjoyed Bravely Default's 2 plot and characters, but at the same time, it also was very generic. But I kind of enjoyed it because it was generic and just did it well,
Yeah, the original Bravely Default is generic, but it kind of has some weird twists on it.
Yeah, it has plot twists, and Bravely Default 2 doesn't really have many plot twists, which I
Yeah.
kind of enjoyed with it because Bravely Default 1 did the plot twist, so I wouldn't want them to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
So they just played it straight this time, and I was cool with that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Do you want to move on?
Yeah, let's move on to the next, or second last award, Best Game Direction. This award
Okay,
goes-
I'll say the nominees this time. So we got Deathloop, It Takes Two, Returnal, Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
I just based on Arcane's track record, I think Deathloop would direction-wise I'd like the most. Direction's such a vague term though.
I think I remember hearing an article where the director of Deathloop forced the developers to play Dark Souls, and some of them were really pissed about it. I'm not sure if that's 100% true or if I'm remembering it wrong and it was a different game or something. Okay. But yeah.
But I understand his creative vision if so.
Yeah. I can definitely give props to It Takes Two because I at least know who the director is.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
And I know his style.
I mean, his style's
he's the Oscars guy.
Yeah, I don't know his name. I just know his fuck
and
the
all
Oscars.
of his games, follow a very similar style for the most
similar
part.
style as the two-player thing, but
yes,
Out is a very stylistically very different game. It's like a crime.
Yes, when I meant style, I of course meant the approach to how they handle games, gameplay wise.
Yeah, and it's unique.
Which is yes,
it's fun.
You don't have to have a visual style. Miyazaki has, a similar directorial style. How he directs his games.
Yeah.
Miyazaki of Dark Souls, of course, not Miyazaki of Ghibli.
Yeah.
Or Miyamoto.
That's of Mario.
Yeah.
Looks like Mamoto likes you.
Not Moto.
That's a hippo.
Looks like Moto likes you.
What is this?
What are your guys' choices for best game direction then?
I can also give props to Psychonauts 2 because I also know the director of that and his style.
Have mixed feelings on Tim Schafer's directing. He needs I love his writing in Monkey Island, but it's only because he co-wrote it. When he's writing a game on his own, I find he goes a bit too goofy. Which
kind of like his goofy stuff.
It does, but you get kind of desensitized to it after a while.
I kind of like how absolutely insane Psychonauts' world is.
Yeah, you just get desensitized to it. I really like his writing and say
I wouldn't say you get desensitized to it. You just get used to it.
Yeah.
which
But
are
yeah, I
kind
bring
of
up
the same thing, but
the example
in a
of
different perspective.
Monkey Island because he co-wrote that, and the other writers' comedy is like really deadpan and stuff. So they work really well together.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Psychonauts is just like I am the milkman. It's like I had enough of the milkman. uh, I,
Yeah.
I I haven't seen much talk about Returnal.
Uh, uh, I,
Eh,
the problem with game direction is unless it's a director I know,
it's hard to,
it's
yeah.
hard to really say. Like, I don't even know who the fuck directed like new Ratchet and Clank game. I don't even know who directed the old ones. I haven't looked into it. They haven't made their face, present. So if the director isn't out there like really championing their vision and like, selling their game to an extent
Mhm.
and like talking about it and their vision for the game and stuff like Tim Schafer does, like the
Yeah,
guy who, made It Takes Two does. You
yeah,
can like all their games that they made and you can see their vision, or like how Miyazaki does, or Miyamoto,
yeah, yeah.
or like the Zelda guy, what's his name?
Eiji Aonuma.
Yeah, Alan Numa.
Neji
Yeah.
Anuma.
But
So
yeah,
yeah. So unless they're like a more known figure and you can see their style throughout their gameography, it's kind of hard to some extent to really talk about game direction, like as an award with a specific game.
yeah. Especially consider like directors
Because
of games don't have like the same kind of creative control you would in like a movie or something.
yeah, there's so
Arguably,
many filters
yeah,
to
arguably producers
everything.
bigger game.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah, especially because like it's like how many people were working on this game? How many did he really oversee?
yeah,
Because like I imagine there's like, okay, there's the game director, but then there's also the code director and the art director. So I imagine the game director just goes to those people and then tells those people what they want, and then those people tell their guys what they want
yeah.
to
That's usually how
do.
it goes.
So there's a bit of a filter and game of telephone
Yeah.
going on. Um, Obviously, it's still a very important role. Who should win this? Obviously, Toby Fox for Deltarune Chapter 2 for best game
Deltarune
direction.
has a vision. That's true. So
Yeah.
that's true. I agree with
Yeah.
that.
I'd say either Psychonauts 2 or Takes 2, maybe Deathloop.
Yep.
Those are
I'll
my
give it
picks.
to I'll give it to Psychonauts too. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah. You want to move on to the final big boy category?
The final
Yes.
big boy category with the only one with 6 options instead of 5.
The only
Ooh.
one that actually matters. Game of the year.
Of the year. If we had a hype sound to play right now, we would have played it, but we don't. Ooh, yay!
That's a pretty hype sound. Okay. What you've all been rating for. The only
Yes.
fucking one that matters.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so the nominees we got Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village.
This is hard,
And
honestly.
this is one of the few, actually, maybe not, but this is one of the years I can definitely say, yeah, pretty much all these games are absolutely fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'll look at all these. Like, I'm really the only ones I've played completely are Metroid Dread or Resident Evil Village, and I'm torn between picking one of those two.
Yeah, like you could make the argument that It Takes Two maybe shouldn't be here,
Maybe.
or maybe that Deathloop is a little overrated.
But at the
But
same
like,
time,
yeah,
not so good.
I don't know. Deathloop's a bit of a weird case because it was very heavily marketed. It came out, critics gave it like rave reviews, 10 out of 10s across the board, and I did not see a single regular person talk about it.
See, looking at it, it was weird how much it was marketed because it did feel like more like towards like the immersive sim kind of like crowd, like more hardcore like FPS fans, more than
No, I think it was. I'd say it appeals to most general FPS fans.
yeah.
Anyone who's playing like any FPSs regularly would be interested enough in this game.
I suppose.
I don't think it strays too far from the tree, you know.
Yeah, but anyway,
I mean,
I
like
think
for the most part, it's like what its main audience are like what Dishonored fans, Half-Life fans, Doom fans, eh,
um, System Shock fans, I
All
guess.
ugly,
maybe.
all naturally ugly people in real
Anyway,
life.
Oh my god.
I'm kidding, of course. I'm kidding, of course.
Wow, that was a good one.
you just murdered all these
Wind,
people.
you all like winded it up for like a minute, and you just like yanked it. It was good.
Hmm.
But as much as I loved Resident Evil Village, I might have to end up giving it to Dread.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Out
that
of these listed, I would probably say Dread is my game of the year of the nominees.
I haven't even played Dread, but just off of hearing these guys talk about it and just stuff I've seen and heard about it, I'm gonna have to do it as well.
Yeah.
Again, what Ricola said, I love Village. Like I love it. I've played it, but Dread, you can't.
Like honestly, if I had to like say rank the nominees
Yeah, let's do that.
personally,
Let's do that.
I would say Dread number 1, Ratchet 2, Village 3,
See, there's where you're wrong.
Psychonauts 4, and then Deathloop and It Takes Two. I could go back and forth between 5 and 6 probably.
Yeah.
I would only switch Ratchet and Clank and Village, but yeah, I'd have to agree. That's only because I haven't played Rift Apart.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm giving mine to Dread. Close second,
Yeah.
Village. Rift Apart. If I played it, I guarantee you probably would have had a different outlook on it. But from what I've played and what I've heard, Metroid Dread takes the cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, as for me personally, if I were to count, games that weren't nominated for my personal game of the year, I would probably have to say Bravely Default 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And if we want to count Deltarune Chapter 2, that would probably be about up there. Maybe
I've-
tied.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, are you thinking about Deltarune?
yeah.
But just because that's just a demo, full release, I'd say it probably I like it more than Bravely Default 2, but at the same time I love Bravely Default 2. It really fulfilled all my wishes with that game, and it's a game that's for me very personally important for me
Yeah.
because it's a sequel to one of my already favorite games of all time, being like Bravely Default and second. Love those games. And those games and the series as a whole, Bravely Default as a whole as a series, is a more or less spiritual successor to Final Fantasy 3 and to some extent also 5. And
Yeah.
3 at the very least, in a lot of ways, especially the 3 remake, especially visually, takes a lot from that in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
And it's very, and this isn't just me like spitballing and like guessing or like making shit up. No, like Bravely Default 1 has a very deliberate Final Fantasy 3 reference. They are very clearly paying homage to, Final Fantasy 3 specifically. And that is like my favorite Final Fantasy game. It was like the first real JRPG I played growing up. It's one of my favorite games, period. I've played through it like 12 times. I absolutely love it. So Bravely Default 2 is a bit personal for me, I can say.
Nothing
So
wrong
that
with
would be
that.
my game of the year.
Yeah, nothing wrong
Yeah.
with that.
But if I were to look at this in a more, let's say, secular sense, maybe, um, looking at it, not judging it by personal bias, but by, say, importance overall, the game that had the most, maybe cultural importance or just importance to the video game industry or just games just in general, I would have to say Metroid Dread is the most important game to have come out this year. Through the legacy and history and the execution,
Yeah, I was just about to say the execution.
to
is
be
great.
literally Metroid Dread, the game that we've been hearing rumors and, like cancellations and stuff like that of for years, to
Yeah.
finally release and to actually be this fucking good.
It is really good.
it's a really important title, and I definitely say it's the most important title to come out this year.
Mhm.
At the same time, I can also give similar prompts to Ratchet and Clank, being the first actually new Ratchet and Clank game in like maybe 9 years at this point. I want to say not Rift Apart, Crack in Time, which was the last full length.
Yeah, I
Because
was
the new
gonna say
Nexus
it's
was
the
only
Nexus. That's the
like
name of
half
the
a
game.
game, and 2016 was a remake, and then all the other ones were spin-offs. This is the
Yeah.
When did Crack in Time come out? I want to say it was 2011. Let
Yeah,
me just
2011,
Google it.
2010, somewhere around there.
Ratchet and Clank, Crack in Time. Yeah, that came out in 2009. Crack in
Hmm.
Time came out.
Wow.
So I was overestimating. I probably played it in 2011,
Hmm.
if I had to guess, just because
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
was
get it till later, probably.
12 years
Um,
ago. Jeez.
yeah. So it's been a long time coming for a new real Ratchet and Clank game. So I can definitely say that as well. And Dread has even longer because like when did Fusion come out? What was that? 2002?
maybe like
I think it
2000.
was two, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Don't know exactly.
Now I have to Google that.
Just to be sure.
Yeah, because I'm always bad with these dates. It was 2002. 19 years. It's been 19 years since the last 2D Metroid game.
Wow.
So, in terms of importance, I have to say Dread, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I hope Dread wins. I'd be happy if any of these, though. Honestly.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like necessarily upset if any of these won. Maybe a little with Deathloop, if only for the fact that it won over Dread,
Yeah.
you know.
I wouldn't be upset though.
I, Honestly, I'd only be upset if they gave Deathloop the Last of Us Part 2 treatment, where it
That's
just won every fucking award.
it's very likely that could happen.
Yeah, and I'm just sitting here being like, no one fucking played it. It's I literally like, okay, yeah, the critics all gave it 10 out of 10s, but I didn't see a single like
Not a single
non-game
soul played
journalist
that.
play
Yeah.
this fucking game.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody in real life who played this fucking game.
I'll get around to it when I get a
I
chance.
I I
And
do,
I'm
but
not
that
even
was my
saying it's
stepdad.
bad, but I'm just like, you know,
Hmm.
like no one was really talking about it.
Yeah. Only person I knew play it was my stepdad, and he doesn't play any games besides that. So
But what do you mean by that? Like he doesn't play any games besides that, as in like genre wise, or
like at
like?
all, he doesn't play games at all, and he
Oh,
only
okay.
plays that game. It's only just because he likes the premise of it. It's not because it's a good
Oh,
game.
okay.
He doesn't. He's like it's. I don't think it's like the best game in the world. I just like the game itself.
Right. He got it from the gimmick of the Deathloop concept, which
Yeah.
is fair.
Yeah. So it's not like
That's
he's
a
like
good
oh my.
reason to play it.
He's
You
not like,
know.
oh my god, Die Hard, like this is the best game in the world. I've
Yeah,
never
yeah,
played
yeah,
any
yeah.
other game besides this.
Yeah.
He's
And I'm not like trying to like
knock
shit
it.
on Deathloop or anything,
Mhm.
Yeah.
because I think it's a well executed game that executes its premise that is good, that I just don't personally uh necessarily am super interested in
Yeah.
or have seen a lot of people talk about. And a part of this is just because I've tried like Dishonored 1 before and it just didn't really
I'll be honest. I
jive
also
with me
don't
at
really
all.
like Dishonored one that much.
Yeah, I didn't try it that long. I only really played the tutorial and I wasn't feeling it. And I was just like, I'm really not feeling this. I just never touched it again, you know? And so I'm
Yeah.
kind of looking at it, it's just like, because I doubt Deathloop is that different from Dishonored in that many ways, outside of more focus on gunplay.
Yeah. Yeah. I've played Prey though, their like most recent one, and Prey is like, oh my god, that's good.
Yeah. And I don't know people who like loved Dishonored
Oh
and
yeah.
said it was like one of their favorite games of all time.
I can't get into Dishonored because I'd rather just play Thief 2.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not like the biggest stealth fan just in general. Like I enjoy stealth games, but I'm also not like a diehard stealth fan, you know?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I like them, not necessarily my favorite genre.
Hmm.
Yeah. For me, I gotta go with Dread. I hope Dread wins.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right.
All right. I think that was the last one, right? That was game of the year.
Yep.
All right. It looks like that's it for the predictions today, folks. You got anything
Bravely
else?
Default didn't get nominated for anything. Oh,
See,
I
I
don't
saw where
remember
people
which
put.
podcast it was, but I made a prediction where it's like Bravely Default wouldn't get nominated for Best Soundtrack even though it deserves it, and then a bunch of garbage that shouldn't be there gets nominated. I was so fucking right.
Yeah.
See, ever since Undertale didn't win Best Soundtrack, I'll never trust them again.
Didn't fucking like Breath of the Wild win Best Soundtrack?
Yes.
Yes.
Crazy.
It had
That
a
game
good.
had like 3 songs.
Yeah, it had a
Wait, did it
decent.
win that or Best Audio Design?
I mean, maybe audio design. That it had pretty good audio design. I
I
don't
know it
know if
got
I'd say it
nominated
was
for Best Audio.
exceptional.
Yeah. Either way.
Like it had really good ambience, but that was about it.
Yeah.
Nothing else I would say was that exceptional with the audio design for Breath of the Wild.
Well, all right. Let's
But yeah. Now,
okay.
real question: who's winning Game of the Year next year?
Um,
Some game that
Elden Ring.
something
Elden
stupid.
Ring.
Something
Elden Ring.
dumb.
Elden Ring.
Because honestly, provided Breath of the Wild 2 actually comes out next year, at least for me personally, next year is going to be a bit of a death battle. Elden Ring's coming out, Splatoon 3's coming out, Breath of the Wild 2's coming out.
Elden Ring.
Yeah, Elden Ring.
I'm calling it right now.
It's Elden Ring.
Mark our whoever's listening is back. Mark our words. A year from now, Elden Ring will be in the predictions thing for this game of the year, and it will be game of the year on the day Game Awards happens.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
But,
Jeff Keighley's going to say, it's finally time for Game of the Year, and then it's going to be Elden Ring. It's going to be a callback to Summer Games Fest for when he revealed Elden Ring.
it's gonna be like, and now it's time. We're gonna tell you about Elden Ring again.
Because last year, during the Game Awards, he mentioned Elden Ring for the most anticipated game award, which Elden Ring is nominated for again. So at this point, if you count the other awards it won at other award shows, Elden Ring has already won like 3 or maybe 4 awards, and it hasn't even come out yet.
Yep. So.
Yeah. And plus, Dark Souls won Ultimate Game of All Time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that about wraps it up, though.
Yeah. Yeah. That concludes our predictions stream for the Game Awards. And what date is this again? Just so.
It's Thursday, the 9th.
Thursday the 9th. So be there or be square.
Yes.
And refer to this video for all the predictions, the proper ones.
Yes. Come back after watching the Game Awards and watch
Yeah.
this. Of course, if you're hearing that, it means you've already watched it.
And
Rewatch it.
And if we did bad, tell us how bad we did.
Yeah, come back after watching the Game Awards.
That's
Ellis.
it. Yeah, just come back.
Yeah. We were planning on doing
Please.
this podcast like a week ago, but then it ended up getting canceled because Lucas was sick.
I was sick. I
Uh,
was dying on
so-
my deathbed. Nobody cared.
Unfortunately, instead of having about like a week and a half of, time for people to watch us, we now only have about 3 days.
Hey, you know what? We're right on the hype cycle.
Yep, but at least we got that going for us. Plus, most YouTube videos die after 3 days anyway. Nobody watches
Yeah.
them after 3 days. They only got that time span anyway, so it should be good.
All right. Well, thank you for anybody that was watching during the stream. Make sure to go check us out on our other platforms, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. We got our updated logo and stuff all set up on every platform. If you're listening to this back on YouTube, make sure to go check out our Twitch. We go live every Sunday.
Yeah, more importantly, subscribe,
Yes.
please. And you can
We-
follow our Twitter for notifications on important updates and whatnot.
Yes.
We won't ever tweet anything stupid, I promise.
Yes. There will be no NSFW post by us.
Yeah,
We promise.
we promise.
But yes, thank you for anybody listening back. Have a great night.
Good night.